This week on the PressureCast, Zelda Wii U gets delayed, Arkham Knight gets delayed, and Twitch gets hacked. Plus, impressions of Bloodborne, Yorby, Episode 1, Payback's a Bolt, and Life is Strange, Episode 2. It's Monday, March 30th, 2015. Everything happening in the world of video games is here, now, on the PressureCast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 71st episode of the PressureCast, the weekly video game news panic that posts every single Monday on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, TuneIn Radio, and America's longest-running independent newspaper at expressmilwaukee.com, and powered by videogamesaredumb.com. My name is Colin Tanner, and I am your host on this crazy adventure through video games. And joining me today, Brandon Early Access Taylor.
Hello.
And Steve Shocking Cuff.
Hey. They call me the Shockmaster.
Yeah, just because you were electrocuted by a microphone once. You hold it against me. Just because one of my microphones continuously electrocuted you to the point where you had partial facial paralysis, and you hold that against me. Okay, fantastic. Gentlemen, are you ready to talk about the disappointing news of this month? I'm talking about, even though it's the end of March, I can say that this is the most disappointing news of March.
I'm not ready.
You know what?
Okay,
Neither is
I'm
Nintendo.
ready.
Nintendo's not ready either, because the Wii U Zelda game, which still has no official title, just Wii U Zelda game, has officially been delayed into 2016. The game's producer, Ananuma, during a Nintendo Direct, he was actually discussing that the game will not make it into 2015. Here's what he said. In these last 3 months, as the team has experienced firsthand the freedom of exploration that hasn't existed in any Zelda game to date, we've discovered several new possibilities for this game. As we have worked to turn these possibilities into reality, new ideas have continued to spring forth. It now feels like we have the potential to create something that exceeds even my own expectations. We are no longer making our 2015 release our number one priority. Instead, our priority is to make the most complete and ultimate Zelda game. I hope to use the added time to make The Legend of Zelda for Wii U into a game that will reward you for your patience. But will Nintendo be rewarded for their patience is the real question. Now that Zelda has been delayed, what do we have for first party? Splatoon? Is that it? Gentlemen, how disappointed are you, or do you actually welcome this news?
Well, I think Splatoon is going to be pretty fun. I'm guessing. It looks like Team Fortress Squid Edition, so I can get behind that. I'm a little bit disappointed, and it seems like Nintendo's not going to have a big holiday release this year, which is kind of a bummer for them. But on the other hand, normally when video game companies announce a delay, that means something is really fucked up. When it comes to Nintendo, 99.9% of the time when they delay something, it's for a good reason and it pays off in the end. So this isn't like, something like Grand Theft Auto on the PC, which I'm very scared about at this point. This is something where I really believe they're like, oh shit, open world games, we're Nintendo, we don't know what this is. So they're just like discovering what Skyrim is for the first time, basically.
True. Miyamoto himself did coin the idea of a delayed game is good eventually, and a bad game is bad forever. Of course, he said that in the days before we had patches coming out every single week. What difference the 20 years makes.
And that's another thing Nintendo doesn't do. Nintendo doesn't release broken games and then patch them up later, expecting them to, people are going to buy it anyway, so we'll just fix it and whatever.
Of course, they have their rare patches every now and again to include online stability for things like Super Smash Brothers. But Brandon, Zelda, was that definitely on your map for purchases in 2015?
I would say definitely. Yeah, I was looking forward to it. Still excited for it. I'm willing to wait because it'll be good when it comes, so...
let's consider this for a moment. Not counting the 3DS releases, has Zelda met your expectations on consoles in the past decade or so? We had Twilight Princess come out on the Wii as a launch title. That had a pretty mixed reception. I liked it personally. I know not everyone did. And then we had Skyward Sword, which I think even more of a mixed reception, and almost in hindsight helped Twilight Princess be considered a classic somewhat. How significant is this game for the Zelda franchise on consoles?
I think it's huge, just because they're taking some of the things they learned from what was it called, the last 3DS game,
Link Between Worlds.
Link Between Worlds.
Fantastic, probably the best Zelda game in the past 20 years.
Yeah, so one of the reasons why people like that Zelda game so much is it's still like distinctly a Legend of Zelda game, but they tinker with some of the formula. So this new Zelda game, it finally feels like they're saying, oh wow, this thing that we've been doing since Ocarina of Time is getting really, really stale, and it's time to sort of, branch out a little bit, learn from other things like Bethesda games, and, just try and make the ultimate Zelda experience. So I'm really excited about it, and I haven't been particularly fond of Legend of Zelda games for the past almost a decade now.
Same here. I mean, a lot of people will still point to Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask and say these are some of the best games of all time. Certainly they are, but I think that they've lost a bit of polish as time has gone on, and people are starting to recognize that it is still formulaic, as you said, and that it has gotten stale. And when they have tried to change it, in the case of something like motion controls or adding a werewolf, it never distanced itself from that basic template.
I was indifferent about Twilight Princess when it came out. I got it right when I got my Wii, and I was just like, okay, well, it's fine. Skyward Sword, I hated.
Really?
Did not like at all. I mean, as much as you can hate a Legend of Zelda game, because it's still polished, and it's still Legend of Zelda, and you have that little nostalgia there.
Great music.
Good Lord. It's just, the worst part about that, and this is something I really hope they address with the new game, is it took like literally an hour and a half, 2 hours before anything happens in Skyward Sword. There's so much dicking around in that game before you actually get to, go on adventures. And it felt really sectioned off. Like you could tell that it was really limited by the Wii in terms of what they wanted to do with the world building. Just didn't like it.
Well, I guess we could say that most of these Zelda games have started off with some sort of text bubble, even since Link to the Past. But it sounds like this game is going to be returning back to the original Legend of Zelda on the NES. Which was just a free roaming game. Brandon, are you okay with having maybe less story in exchange for gameplay in a Zelda game? How much does story impact your enjoyment of Zelda?
I'm good with it. I mean,
so you're fine without story?
Yeah, because the story of Zelda is kind of the same in pretty much every single game, just with slight variances to make it seem like it's a different game.
So basically,
and then they add in gimmicks here and there to try and make it seem even more like a different game, but it's still kind of basically the same formula, which I'm okay with because it's fun. It kills time. I just beat Majora's Mask in the last week for the first time ever.
Where's that game placing on your favorite Zelda game? Top 5?
Yeah, I'd say top 5. I mean, it's definitely behind Link Between Worlds and Link to the Past.
Absolutely.
Probably falls right behind Ocarina of Time, but personally, I don't think that I have never been as high on Ocarina of Time as everybody else.
No, that was the same year that Metal Gear Solid came out, and it was just impossible to look at this amazing technical achievement with voice acting and mature storytelling and just all these ideas, and then look over at Zelda, and this stupid little elf was blocking my way to exit this tree.
The hot take here, Colin. Hot take.
The game is ugly. Ocarina of Time was always ugly, and people don't want to admit that. Yes, the field was quite beautiful, but I'm sorry, you spent 95% of the time in an ugly cave environment that was closed off.
Oh, someone's getting some angry emails.
Oh, it's fine.
I could hear him. I can hear people banging on their keyboards right now.
That's Steve, favorite Zelda game.
Oh, shit. Wind Waker.
Actually, I've never played Wind Waker either.
Wind Waker.
Because here's the thing. For Twilight Princess, I played like half of it and then bought something that I cared more about, I don't know what, on 360 or PS3. And then I never played Wind Waker, and I never played Skyward Sword because I just kind of gave up on my Wii. It was kind of like, I guess I could hook this back up again, and then I got to put batteries and everything sucks anyways with this system, so just fuck it. I'm just going to go play Call of Halo, and I'm going to have a good time with my friends.
I think that probably Link to the Past is the best, like, pure, like, archetypal Legend of Zelda experience.
Yes.
So that's a really great one. But I have a special spot for Wind Waker and a special spot for Majora's Mask, just because I like how they tweak the formula.
Wind Waker is awfully fantastic, but it's just that doesn't really pop up in the conversation as much.
Actually, the best
Zelda
Zelda
hipster.
game The best Zelda game is obviously Hyrule Warriors.
That's true.
The game that has nothing to do with
You can
Zelda.
play as fucking Tingle.
I prefer Wand of Gamelon.
Wand of Gamelon.
Oh, I'm so hungry. I could eat an
which one?
Almost as good as the Four Swords.
Oh, God. Or Minish Cap. Or Spirit Tracks. There are way more Zelda games than anyone actually ever remembers.
What's the other CDI Zelda game?
Well, there's The Adventure of Zelda, which is where you play as Zelda, Wand of Gamelon, and then...
That's it.
Shadow of Ganon? Whatever it is. I can't remember. There are 3 of them, though.
Zelda 2 is great, though. That was sarcasm.
Actually, it's a great combat system. Let's move over to Satoru Iwata, of course, the Nintendo boss himself, was talking about the Wii U and its difficulties. It's going to be an exceptionally hard 2015 without having a major title for Christmas. Here's what he had to say about, the Wii U and its struggle to become, well, as popular as the Wii.
Relevant?
I think, to be honest, we're in a difficult situation because of the home console. Our biggest market opportunity was in the overseas markets in the US and Europe. But because of the valuation of the yen and the exchange rates into dollars and euros, it made a difficult position for us. Sorry, Porky Pig. For us to capitalize on that.
That's racist.
Because of the cost that we were forced to sell the system at. So he's blaming the yen to euro to dollar exchange rate and the Wii U. Does Wii U need a price cut this year?
I already own one, so no.
Okay.
Well, you can get refurbished ones
$200
for $200. So if you sell a non-refurbished Wii U with a pack-in game for $199.99,
yeah, but
I think that's probably your best bet at this point.
Keep in mind, though, I believe it was the GameCube only sold roughly 24 million units, and it wasn't anywhere near that until they slashed the price of the console to $99 in 2004.
Yeah, I
think that's when I bought one.
You're probably not going to see the Wii U drop that low.
No.
Probably for at least another year, probably longer.
Inflation itself wouldn't allow for it.
No. And it's not even the system. It's the controller tech I don't think is cheap enough yet where you can drop the price down that low. But yeah, I think a price cut would help and maybe some better marketing because right now Nintendo always forgets, like they try to appeal to children. They do that well. But they also forget that a big part of their audience is like this nostalgia crowd.
Absolutely.
And I don't think their marketing campaign addresses that very well. And the only place you ever see Nintendo commercials are like on Nickelodeon and shit. So maybe you reevaluate that a little bit.
I do see commercials on YouTube, but I think that's just generated towards me. I don't think that's for everybody. Even if I'm watching like an Angry Video Game Nerd review or whatever it is. Brendan, I mean, you seem to have a lot of friends that play on PCs.
Yeah. Well, hey, all right. Now you're not getting my Steam library. How do you like them apples?
Does everyone know in your circle what the Wii U is to begin with? They know what it is. Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, they're not that weird.
No, they're
not weird, but they're not that weird.
Well, actually, I find most people have no idea what the Wii U is to this day.
How do they not? It has Smash Brothers and Mario Kart.
They think it's an add-on to the Wii. Still. I mean, I hear this all the time.
I don't even know if that matters, does it? I mean, as long as Nintendo makes you want a thing, it doesn't matter if you understand what the thing is. They had a huge marketing campaign for Tomodachi Life, which was very successful, and it was the commercials were geared towards children. But if you watch those commercials, there's no indication of what Tomodachi Life is. It's just that if you're 8, you need this shit.
Very smart. Let's move over to what they have planned for the mobile environment. Iwata has actually expressed why he doesn't like the term free-to-play. I've come to realize that there's a degree of insincerity to consumers with this terminology. The thing that concerns me most is, in fact, in the digital age, if we fail to make efforts to maintain the value of our content, there is a high possibility for the value to be greatly reduced, as the history of the music industry has shown. Interesting point. On the other hand, I have no intention to deny the free-to-start model. In fact, depending on how we approach this model, we may be able to overcome these problems. I'm sorry, I almost gagged a little bit just saying that because it's Nintendo once again not playing by the rules, and by not playing by the rules, they just make up different words. They just make up different words.
I really want to just stand up and applaud that PR doublespeak. Like that's really impressive.
Yeah, I know.
It's free.
To start,
I don't like cotton candy, but fluff sugar is delicious. Like, what is this?
And it also, like, I don't think of free to play when I hear free to start. I think of I don't know, kind of like what you can do with the PlayStation 4, where you can like let your friend play your game for an hour or something
game
like
share.
that. Yeah, game share. I think it's something like that. That sounds like free to start because it's like, oh, look, you can start playing it, but then if you want it, you got to go buy it or something.
Iwata, your terminology, you are free to stop. Moving on. Moving on, the Zelda live-action series that was coming to Netflix, or rumored to, Iwata had something to say about that. As of now, I have nothing new to share with you in regard to use of our IPs for any TV shows or films, but I can at least confirm that the article in question is not based on correct information.
So what you're saying
I'm glad
is...
we talked about that for so long on the podcast.
I think that there's a reason we did, and it's because there's a lot of truth to it. Because that sentence, I can confirm that the article in question is not based on correct information. That is almost like a surgeon delicately slicing around the truth. You know, there's some truth to this.
So Zane, formerly from One Direction, is confirmed to play Link?
Absolutely,
okay,
this is true.
Oh my god!
You heard it here first, kids.
Oh my god! I don't want to cry on the podcast.
Please make that trend on Twitter.
He's a beautiful man.
Hashtag Zane4Link.
Hashtag give Link a chance.
So here's what we've got for the NX, the next upcoming bit of hardware from Nintendo. Satoru Iwata has actually said what he wants it to be and what he doesn't want it to be. Here's his quote. If you only expand upon existing hardware, it's dull, new 3DS. In some shape or form, we're always thinking about how we want to surprise players, as well as our desire to change each person's video gaming life. Video gaming life. Okay, moving. Here's his quote. As proof that Nintendo maintains strong enthusiasm for the dedicated game system business, let me confirm that Nintendo is currently developing a dedicated game platform with brand new concepts under development code NX. Now, we heard that last statement last week. However, what he was talking about, I know I actually read it. What he was talking about is that this is going to be somewhat different from, not just expanding upon an already existing piece of hardware. Personally, guys, I could go without any sort of gimmick on the next piece of hardware. Just controller, HDMI cable, I'm good.
But then what separates it from a PS4 or a Xbox One at that point? Then you
Zelda.
have three big black boxes. Yeah,
it's fictional.
What if it stands for Nintendo Extreme? And it's just got a Guy Fieri haircut and does cool skateboard tricks.
No, it's just a code name. The official release name will be the Nintendo Financial Irresponsibility Box.
I hope they just call it Dolphin finally. That'd be so exciting. I love Dolphins.
You know what would be exciting?
Or
if it was actually good. That would be exciting.
But, it just seems that as time has gone on, and I'm not sure if it just has to do with just, the nostalgia element to it, but I don't know how nostalgic anyone is for the Wii or will ever be for the Wii. Maybe for Wii Sports, but for the Wii itself, I don't think that's going to be there. These gimmicks that they've imposed on every single console has been a mistake, in my opinion. The Wii U tablet, the motion controls, these are great and fantastic options, but making them requirements is baffling to me.
They're okay options.
They made a lot of money.
Say they're great.
They made a lot of money, but I'm worried about where they're going to be in the future if they continue to try and capture that success once again.
I disagree with you completely.
Whoa, okay.
And here's why.
Okay.
Is
this a Reddit post? I disagree with this. And
here's
why.
That is a title.
Yeah, I'm downvoting you.
Dang, bro.
Yeah, let me put on my fedora. I'm sorry, my trilby.
All I
Isn't
said
that the
was
new MRA hat?
Cool post, bro, and you downvoted me.
No, okay, so here's where I disagree with you. One, I think there's going to be a lot of nostalgia for the Wii. It sold 90 million units.
Mm-hmm.
It uses nostalgic character properties, and whether or not we understand why 90 million people bought it or not, it's still something that's going to appeal to people. Also, you have to remember that Nintendo as a company only sells video games.
Yeah.
Sony and Microsoft sell lots of things. Sony and Microsoft can afford to sell very powerful consoles at an incredible loss. Nintendo has always been successful by taking existing technology, repurposing it in interesting ways, and then selling it for profit. If Nintendo is taking massive losses on their console, they can't compete financially with Sony and Microsoft. So the reason they have these gimmicks and things like that is because they need to. That's the only way they can stand out. So Nintendo's marketing campaign at this point, because they can't go toe-to-toe with heavyweights like Sony and Microsoft, is I think it's called like the blue ocean theory of marketing, where you have to cast your net where no one else is fishing. That's what they have to do because they can't be Sony, they can't be Microsoft. It's not financially viable for them.
If Nintendo's doing the blue ocean, they threw the net against the wind, got wrapped into it, and fell into the ocean. Because here's what I'm saying. I think that making a more powerful machine actually makes financial sense for them, because without that, they have completely eliminated third parties. And I understand that third party has never been particularly strong for them, but I think it's because they keep insisting on their own proprietary systems. We're not releasing DVDs. We're going to have mini discs with the GameCube. We're not. It's true though. We're not going to have CDs. We're going to have cartridges. When they followed the standard that they had set for everyone else and said, okay, we're going to do cartridges with the NES or the SNES or the Game Boy or the DS, they were successful. The moment that they try and differentiate themselves, that's where they get stuck up, when all we care about are the games.
I think you're also overstating Nintendo's failure, because, I mean, again, the Wii was the best-selling console of the last generation. There's no bones about that.
And the most successful generation of all time.
Yeah, and the 3DS was very successful, continues to be successful, so I think they're doing well there. And again, it's just they can't... I don't see a way for them to just, make super powerful tech and remain competitive.
Yeah, it is an interesting idea. Okay, Brandon, which one of us is right? No, I'm kidding. What are your thoughts on Nintendo's...
Neither.
What is Nintendo's strategy with the NX? What do you want to see out of this new system?
A good console that isn't powered by stupid gimmicks that I have to plug in every 3
VR
hours.
Pornography.
Oh,
yes. Wow. Yeah. That's what it's going to be. It's just going to be an Oculus made by Nintendo.
Here's an interesting...
And you have to plug it into your Wii U.
Yeah, and that little short for, now here's some extreme hentai.
It plugs into the mysterious port. The port of no return on the bottom of the game.
What is that for?
It's for the NX.
Whoa. The third pillar. Let's move on to the new 3DS. Here's a very interesting fact. I think you got to remember now, this news came from Nintendo. They are the source that released this information. They announced that Super Stable 3D almost didn't come to the new 3DS. There's no reason for them to share this information, except to say, here's the... We'll get into... I'll ask you guys in a moment.
To say, boy, we almost fucked that up.
Well, let's ask each other, why did they release this information? Here's what Satoru Iwata said. I think you're probably familiar with the tales of how, in late stages of development, Mr. Miyamoto always upends the tea table. That's a Japanese term. Mr. Miyamoto, of course, is the creator of Star Fox and nothing else.
Wait, who?
Yeah. So, and I guess that Zelda, Mario, whatever those games are, I'll play them eventually whenever they come out on the Wii U. Is that what's called?
You made Pikmin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wait, is that an expansion for the Wii?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Here's what Iwata said. So a similar thing happened this time. The hardware developers had designed a piece of hardware that they felt was at the final stage of prototyping, and they were bringing it to us for approval to begin moving forward with plans for manufacturing. But Mr. Miyamoto had seen the Super Stable 3D just 1 week before, and he asked, why aren't we putting that in the system? If we don't put this in, there's no point in making the system. So that's actually what happened. They were able to quickly bring over Super Stable 3D. Now, Iwata doesn't have to reveal this information. Why on earth would he talk about that in public?
I don't know. I mean, it's interesting to me, but it just seems like a weird thing. Like, why would you get down to that level of business and share it with the public?
I honestly believe, and so I don't mean to preference this just to knock my own volleyball back at you guys, but I honestly believe he did this because he knew that they were about to delay Zelda, and he wanted to bring up the idea that sometimes we realize that we've made something wrong, and we always fix it in the end, because everybody likes the new 3DS, and so he's going to bring up the fact that, hey, we almost didn't do that. But then we took our time, and now everything's okay. That's my guess. I don't know. Am I reading into this too much?
No, that's probably pretty good in the context of that press conference. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay. We've got just a few more stories. Guys, here's what I want to talk about, though. If they planned for that, why didn't they plan for more memory on the new 3DS, as it's been revealed that Xenoblade Chronicles will not fit on a 4GB card on your new 3DS. Comes with a 4GB 3DS card. Officially on Nintendo of America's website, it has this quote. Please note that this title will take up nearly 4GB of space on the new Nintendo 3DS XL system, pre-installed 4GB micro SDHC card. You may need to upgrade to a larger memory card to ensure you have room for this download. Over at Nintendo of Europe, they state it more blatantly. The download version of Xenoblade Chronicles 3D does not fit on the microSD card included with the new 3DS and new 3DS XL. systems, an 8GB or larger micro SD card is required to download this game from the eShop. Consider this, Xenoblade Chronicles 3D is only available. It is the very first exclusive new 3DS title. It is launching on April 10th this month.
It's exclusive.
The console came out a little over a month ago, and guess what? It's not going to fit on there. It's not going to fit on your system. You have to buy physical or you have to upgrade your card. How could they not plan for this? Brandon, you haven't looked. I want to hear it. You've got a look on your face.
Why would you download a game from the Nintendo eShop?
A lot of people do because they just like having all their games.
Those people are morons.
I agree.
Moving on.
This is the guy with the world's largest digital Steam library.
Hey, you get Steam.
Given the fact that Steam has an agreement in place that in the event that they ever go under, you get DRM-free copies of all of your games.
Oh.
That's a little bit different from,
it is.
Oh, wait, this is a different 3DS? Well, suck a dick, you're not getting that game.
That is true.
Very
true.
This is a major
it's a
oversight.
good investment.
This is a major oversight, correct? They surely knew when they were designing the system and that this was going to be its very first title. I mean, ever. This is the very first game, and it won't... Imagine if you bought a PlayStation 4, and the first game is like, I don't know, Katamari Damacy 17, and that title, I know, I wish, and you can't even download it unless you upgrade to another hard drive on your PlayStation 4. That would be outrageous, right?
But why did I buy a PlayStation 4?
I don't know. You're
None of this makes sense to me.
You're a super slick guy. You got lots of money. You drive around your Corvette and just throw dollar bills out the window. And
yet I would still not be willing to buy a PS4.
Oh,
every time I hear about the Xenoblade re-release, it just makes me furrow my brow more.
Why?
I don't.
Aren't you excited?
No.
Why not?
Okay.
Do you have an opinion on Xenoblade Chronicles?
Yeah.
No?
Hi, Steve's here again for like the 52nd week in a row, and he's here to tell you, Xenoblade's not that good. But
I
aside
think I remember
from that,
hearing that at one point.
I don't
Yeah,
that. This is
literally
news
like
to
10
me.
times, yeah.
Breaking news, everyone. Steve.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Okay, so but aside from the fact that like I think the game's okay, they're not doing anything new to it. It's just a straight port. Right? There's no like added shit.
I guess there might be a few things here or there,
but nothing like newsworthy.
There might be.
There might be some
There
things.
might be.
They might
You
add
hear that, kids? There might be.
There might
Go
be
drop your $40.
There might be an NPC that kind of looks like Tingle in a room that you have to go.
Well,
to
okay, if Tingle's in it, it's a 10 out of 10. But
okay.
I guess the
10.
biggest selling point for it right now is it's available, unlike the Wii game, which is difficult to find. And then this card thing, it doesn't make any sense from Nintendo's standpoint. It's almost like they didn't even think about it, which is insane. Because a micro SD card, even if they would have gone from 4 to 8, and 8's still not enough, they should have gone to at least 16, I think. How much, if you're buying in bulk, how much do you think an 8 gigabyte micro SD card would cost Nintendo compared to the 4 gigabyte? Like
maybe 60 cents.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Well, then they'd have to raise the price by $20.
Well, considering the position that Nintendo it is financially, yes, they have a fantastic war chest, but considering where they are right now, that might not have been a real... But I agree with you that that's a major mistake. I'm just thinking of their rationale for it, which I think is wrong-headed.
And it also could be, if you want to, like, predict the future, what this indicates, it might be, well, maybe there's not going to be a lot of new 3DS exclusives, which seems pretty likely. Which,
Brandon,
whatever.
you still have to buy a new 3DS because it's the best handheld they've made since the Game Boy SP.
Suck it, man. I never bought a DSi. I'm still living my life.
Yeah, a DSi was not worth it. This is worth it.
DS Lite.
DS Lite was worth it. I got the whole list of like worth it, not worth it. It's like
you just keep an Excel spreadsheet.
3DS,
2DS,
3DS,
2DS.
2DS.
I just said 2DS twice.
2DS.
It sounds like you're saying 2DS.
That's a pretty good name for it. By the way, is the 2DS? Can we declare the 2DS is officially dead?
No, it's not. It was on that new Netflix show, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. There's a character that plays a 2DS in it.
Oh,
so it's alive. It's alive and
well. Is it really?
Yeah, it's a good show.
It's like 30 Rock.
Mm-hmm. It's
like the same humor.
There's the Rock's on it.
Never mind.
There's 30. 30.
The Rock was on SNL last night. Today's WrestleMania. We're taking over.
Did you guys watch his
too
reality
lost
show
in his
yet?
Digital worlds. He doesn't know about
The
television.
Rock has a reality show.
Wake Up Call, where it's just him eating loads of pancakes and just being like, "I'm here to change your life for the better." He's not. Yeah, imagine
can we pause this podcast so we can go watch that.
Okay, we'll come back in 2. All right, we'll be right back, guys. Dude, can you believe it?
Oh my god, the amount of syrup that he used, like I did not see that. And then when he switched it up, he was like, "No more syrup. I'm moving to agave."
Don't spoil it. Okay. By the way,
it was good.
Real quick, Iwata has said that they were not cornered into the mobile handheld market, as he has said. Variety of media have written that Nintendo was cornered a number of times, but I don't think we were cornered at all. Needless to say, we were also aware that unless a company can deal with the rapidly changing world, it will face decline.
I have something very important to say.
Yes.
That is tangentially related to this news story.
Okay.
Can we just give a shout out to every single podcast and news outlet and YouTuber who hasn't been able to pronounce DNA?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was saying Dina all week.
I've heard Dina, and then the best is like when they're like, Dina, that sounds dumb. DNA, no, that couldn't be it. So they just go with this like weird French thing. So they're just like Dina.
I heard Dana a lot.
Nintendo and his partnership with
Nintendo and Dana. They're going over there. All right, that's enough of the Nintendo news. Guys, we have a few more stories to get to. We're going to be talking right now about the future of the Arkham series. Just an idea right here. I want to compare and contrast the whole notion of delays right here. Arkham Knight, which was supposed to be coming out on June 2nd during E3, has been delayed until June 23rd. That's it. Here's what Sefton Hill, the game director, had to say. We're a developer that hates to make any compromises, so we are sorry to say that this means it's going to be just a bit longer until you can play the epic conclusion to the Arkham trilogy. Which...
Wasn't there already a third Arkham game?
Nope. But
didn't you play it?
No, don't recall that. Warner Brothers also has confirmed that over in the UK, if you want to buy it on PC, it's got to be digital, baby. All the special edition box copies for PC. Yes, people actually like to buy box copies of PC games. Look at Kickstarter, kids. They will be moving those only to the US. You're not going to be able to get a box copy on PC.
Do they come with Steam codes?
Yeah, they do.
It's just an empty box with a Steam code in it.
That's exactly what my Elder Scrolls collection was.
That's exactly what Lara Croft and whatever it was, that recent... the
Guardian of Light?
No, yeah, was that the most recent one?
I don't know.
It was literally on a PS4 box. You open it up, it was just a code.
Wasn't that how when Half-Life 2 came out and they like launched Steam or whatever, didn't they just sell empty boxes with Steam codes in it?
That was an option, but I do think they also had like DVD copies. Regardless, you need to sign in to if you just didn't want to install it if you had like a bad connection, because that was still when people were using 56K, believe it or not.
Shout out to modems.
Yeah.
Wait.
All right.
So going back to the news that we're talking about,
what
if Batman Arkham Knight got delayed, and it comes out on, what was it, June 20,
2 weeks later.
June 23rd, was it?
Or 3 weeks later, yeah. June 23rd.
If it comes out then how am I going to play Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC when it comes out?
Oh, shush. That's not been confirmed. However, here's the craziest news. We might be seeing Arkham City and the original Arkham Asylum will be coming over to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in a remastered form.
But Colin, what about Arkham Origins?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What about Arkham Origins Blackgate?
Never heard of this. IGN Italy apparently came up with that news. Here's what's really fantastic about this. I mean, have you guys played Arkham Arkham Asylum? I'm sorry, I had a little thing in my throat. Arkham Asylum or Arkham City
No, I live under a fucking rock. Of course I have.
No, I mean, that game is gorgeous. And compared to the console ports, I hopefully this will be like 60...
still gorgeous on the consoles.
It's gorgeous on the... Yes, it is. But when you play it on the PC with 60 frames a second, I'm sorry, you can't go back. Yeah. I hate to...
Frame
Steve,
rate Fap Fest.
I'm going to explain... I'll explain to you real quick. Here's my...
Please mansplain frames to me.
Mansplain? Okay. Well, okay. First of all...
I watched a YouTube video in 60 frames a second the other day. It was weird as hell.
I'll just say that whenever a game is sort of like... has a reaction, you are required to quickly react to circumstances. Like, I always use the example of Punch-Out. If Punch-Out on the Wii was 30 frames a second, it wouldn't be that good. It wouldn't look as good. Now, Dark Souls, it's the same way. When you play Dark Souls on the PC, you have that 60 frames a second, and you're reading for certain reactions. It really does help. So that's why I would hope to see something where, in Arkham, you're literally having to jump over people before they hit you with a baton. God, I love those games.
Most of my experience with the 30 versus 60, and I realize that, like, if you're, like, some hardcore PC, like, Counter-Strike first-person shooter guy, then this is heresy.
Sense.
But you just kind of, like... get used to it. Like, I notice it more now that I play more on my PC than ever. But even the Arkham games, like I played Arkham City on PS3 and not PC.
Yeah.
And I played Arkham Asylum on PC.
Yeah.
And I think that's 60 on PC.
Absolutely.
So there's certainly a noticeable difference, but it wasn't just like, oh my God, my world is shattering. It was just like, oh, so my timing's a little different. That's all.
It's true, but it really helps. I really like it there. Now, not everything needs to be 60 frames a second.
Kind of 60 frames. Man, you should do like hour-long YouTube videos where you just like look at the options screen.
Oh, yeah. Well, we already got Complete Cracker.
Field of view slider on this game is terrible.
Oh, Complete Cracker's here. I didn't know he was guessing.
We've got to do something with that.
Oh, my God. How are the Z buffers, though?
I want to do something with Complete Cracker. That is too fucking funny not to do
There's
something.
only 4 pages of video settings. This is fucking embarrassing.
And you can't even rebind the keys.
Yeah.
The mouse sensitivity is off. Can you believe
Shut up
they
and
left
play the
on
goddamn
mouse
game.
smoothing? I'm more Australian.
Yeah,
I don't know what I am.
But Complete Cracker is Australian, and he that's, oh my God. I just love the idea of him just being like, oh, apparently you can only run this game at a maximum of 60 frames a second. On a side note, women...
Yeah, let's just
Stephen Regal?
Women.
Lord Stephen over here.
Yeah, that's
let's put
William
Brandon in a
Regal.
top hat and a
Lord
monocle.
Yeah. Well, listen, dude, respect the new gimmick. We're gonna...
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Guys, it's time to talk about Twitch. Twitch had one hell of a week, and we need to actually get into an in-depth conversation right now, right here, all about it. According to the Twitch boss, the founder of Twitch, Emmett Shear, here's what he had to say about the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The problem is that the 7-year upgrade cycle doesn't work into the face of the 2-year upgrade cycles for every other hardware platform. It is so insular, built into how consoles get manufactured and made, and the full business model that I'd be surprised to see another generation. He's doubting the survival of consoles altogether. Now, here's the funny thing about it, is because later this week, he took a cue from the PlayStation handbook, and Twitch got hacked. Apparently, a number of accounts were compromised. I received an email. You both received an email for your Twitch accounts.
I'm pretty sure everyone got an email.
If everyone got an email, that's not good. Because
No. It's covering your ass. I mean, some people got compromised, so they said, fuck it, we're going to tell everyone to change their passwords. Like when the Target shit happened, my bank sent everybody new cards.
Absolutely.
Regardless of whether or not you actually had your card.
Totally ruined it, though, because I was going to play Dota in lingerie, but I didn't have the chance to.
Hey, that's not allowed anymore.
Hey, I do that anyways, I just don't record it.
Here's the quote. Here's the quote. From Twitch, we all got this email. We are writing to let you know that there may have been unauthorized access to some of your Twitch user account information, including possibly your Twitch username and associated emails, your password, which was protected, the last IP address you logged in from, and any of the following if you provided them to us: first and last name, phone number, address, date of birth, and also limited credit card information.
Favorite pizza toppings?
Yeah, this is huge.
Son of a bitch.
Now, you got to remember, guys, last summer, Amazon purchased Twitch for over $1 billion. So for Amazon, this is a significant problem. This isn't just limited to Twitch right here. I mean... And now we want to pair this with there is a report from the Daily Dot citing multiple sources, nameless sources I might add, that YouTube is ready to re-enter the live streaming service. They want to take advantage of that. They want to get into the game sphere with this exact quote. Here's the nameless source. Gaming and esports in general are going to be a big driving force for the new look of YouTube Live. There'll be huge opportunities for established streamers and organizations soon. I would say that the record number of esports viewers are only going to grow when Google starts promoting and partnering with these events. So,
wait, is it 2008?
Actually, YouTube launched their efforts in 2010, but
they started. YouTube Live started in 2008. That was the thing. I don't think they were like, hey, gamer bros, stream your Dotas and your calls and duties.
It was in beta in mid-2008. However, it officially launched in 2010. Twitch has become a cultural force, period. We don't need to add a caveat of video games. However, the biggest Twitch stars are nowhere near PewDiePie. Mm-hmm. That's just how it goes. YouTube is still top dog for entertainment when it comes to video games. Is Twitch in danger of being usurped by a more powerful organization like Google?
No, but I also think that when you're comparing platforms like YouTube and Twitch, it's easy to say that they're similar, but it's very different content-wise. Like the sort of content, like the Let's Plays or the reviews or the news shows, or like video games are dumb, or like the first hour,
first hour weekly,
first hour weekly,
monthly,
yeah,
first hour weekly, monthly, yearly,
yeah,
10th anniversary.
Wouldn't it be annually?
Colin's Sexy Dance Party? Like these are all things that are very like YouTube specific. Streamers, for the most part, aren't interested in YouTube, and YouTubers aren't necessarily interested in streaming. And if you listen to like big top dog streamers talk about their shit, they're like, why would I put things on YouTube? It's so time consuming. The whole point of streaming is they can hop on, it sends out the emails, their whole community can jump on board, and then they're just making money sitting on their ass playing their game, and there's no like effort, there's no post-production, there's no nothing. It's just there it is.
That's pretty much what I do on YouTube anyway. No post-production.
Like once it's set up and the ball's rolling, you don't really have to do anything. And so Twitch is like, it's a totally different culture.
However, if you can actually create a better service than Twitch for those streamers,
it's called Hitbox TV.
Well, yes. But what I'm trying to say is that I've found on a regular basis, I've experimented with both. There's no comparing it. YouTube has the better service for streamers. No, it doesn't have the chat room yet or some features. You can make them working under some circumstances. However, the ping is insane. And it's not these random servers that are all over the United States. It's one central location, and I get a better ping result than when I connect to an area that's even closer to me. Through Twitch. Twitch has shut down its areas in Chicago. It's shut down its areas in somewhere in the West, the Upper West. I forget exactly where. They are
Seattle?
Yeah, possibly.
Portland?
They've closed down server locations, whereas YouTube is ready to expand. It's a better service. They already have the audience for, like you said, YouTube. As soon as they get something like, I don't know, League of Legends tournament or the Dota 2 tournament, they can bring in a huge audience.
I think their best chance here, and I mean, worst case scenario, this is going to turn into Google Plus, where it's just kind of like a, punchline to a Facebook joke. Best case scenario is if you make the Twitch format and the streaming format more accessible. Because the hardest thing about streaming on Twitch is it's not like, their whole thing, oh, anybody can stream now. No, there's a big barrier to entry.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take something like live streaming and you make it super simple, where it's just one-click setup, and there's some sort of like a screen capture thing, so I don't have to use whatever free broadcaster, open broadcaster, yeah,
which is fantastic.
Yeah, you can see how often I stream. So you don't have to use this third-party software. If everything is integrated into Chrome and YouTube, then that would be nice.
To be honest, though, Twitch and Ustream are integrated into the PlayStation 4, whereas Twitch has been integrated into the Xbox One. You just have to, 2 button presses away, and you are streaming live to the internet.
Mm-hmm. Also, but most people stream from PCs, though, right? Like that's because the biggest streamers are like
absolutely
Dota people, League of Legends people, things like that.
But
that's pretty much it.
But
WoW people.
Literally, a PlayStation 4 has a button for Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on the controller. But if you also compare that to the idea that YouTube has also been integrated now into these systems, it's very easy to see that we're not too far away from YouTube possibly trying to reach out to consoles. And if they can create a console market of streamers, that's an entirely different market.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested to see what happens because I'd like to start doing more streaming. I realize like it's something that I haven't been able to really tap into with like online content with Optimism Vaccine. Plus, I have the built-in good name of Optimism Vac Stream, so why not take advantage of that?
Oh my god.
The puns are flying, motherfucker.
I gotta go, guys. I gotta go copyright that before Steve does. So, Brandon, any chance that you'll be hopping on Twitch soon or YouTube if this happens?
Sure.
What are you gonna stream?
My hilarious backlog.
What would be the first
Complete Cracker plays the backlog.
My plan is basically to play all of the games that no one else is playing.
I've been thinking about doing
all
that too.
All of the crappy little games that I've gotten in crappy little bundles. Because it's like, you know what? If I'm like the 40th person playing Dragon Age Inquisition on Twitch, no one's gonna care. But if I'm playing like Beat Bros or some shit and somebody sees it, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is that?
That is, I would say, that is the smartest. That's the smartest thing to do. Last week, my most popular video was for Cabela African Adventures. All the other popular games.
I can't believe we didn't talk about that on the podcast. That's just horrible.
You want to move on to the games of the week?
Only if it's Cabela's.
No, we're going to talk about the games of the week.
I want the Cabela's African Adventure update.
We've got too many...
Every week that should be a segment.
Yeah, well,
today on Cabela's African Adventure.
I've gotten multiple comments on the video that are just like, fuck me, I can't believe I bought this game. Oh my god, it's horrible.
Who bought that?
Well, and the same thing with Yorby, but we'll get in that in a second. I've got to start off with the biggest release of the week, Bloodborne on the PlayStation 4. This is a PlayStation 4 exclusive that is so exclusive that there's actually a petition online from PC users saying that From Software betrayed the gamers by making this a PlayStation 4 exclusive.
Betray the gamers!
Here's the thing, kids. You might not understand this. When something's an exclusive, it's not just because they love Sony. It's because money exchanged hands, you stupid
also,
idiots.
you doofuses, if it's not, like, actually developed by Sony, yeah, it's going to be exclusive for all 5 fucking minutes. So.
It's going to be this one's going to be exclusive forever.
I do not believe that.
Demon Souls.
Forever-esque.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Demon Souls...
Too much money. Demon Souls was like a cult classic. It didn't do that well. There's way too much fucking money on the table. And From Software, they're not like Activision. They would love more money.
Technically published by Sony. If I'm not mistaken, the IP is even owned by Sony. Same with Demon Souls.
So Bloodborne is owned by Sony.
The copyright and the IP, as well as the publishing rights, yes. So that's why I keep trying to tell everybody.
What if they spell it like Bloodborne, but like Bjorn, like BJORN, and then they release it? I don't know.
Maybe. But for all intents and purposes, gentlemen, this is another Dark Souls game.
What?
It plays like Dark Souls. It looks like Dark Souls, but there are some very interesting differences in this game. First of all, it takes place in a more Victorian setting as opposed to the, I don't know what you'd even call it, Dark Ages of Dark Souls.
Medieval?
Yeah, you get a gun and shit.
The gun is actually very interesting. Here's what you're going to find out first when you play the game. You know your shield? Sure. Throw it away. It's gone. There are no shields. It's over. You have to be aggressive as hell when you play this game. It's been replaced by your dodge attack, essentially. You dodge out of the way whenever people are attacking. You can start off with either an axe or this like razor sword. It's incredible. It basically looks like a giant, like old school razor. And you can fight every weapon in 2 different forms.
There's a cane too, isn't there?
Yeah, you can fight in 2 different forms for every single weapon. So the first one is maybe a little bit more close and controlled, whereas the second one is slower, but it has a longer reach. Not more powerful, don't get confused. Has a longer reach. So when you're fighting with that giant razor, it just basically looks like a regular sword, and then you just flick it open like I said, a giant razor. It looks insane, and it's rusty. And you can see like coats of blood that have dried in this brown mess all over it. There's so much blood in the game. Basically, the story is, who could tell? Who knows?
I mean, it's a Souls game, so it means that everything is like kind of in the world, and you have to kind of like pick it apart.
Shut up! It's different.
Oh yeah, you earned. I forget what you earned. Blood Echoes.
Bro, it's a Kingsfield sequel.
I love Kingsfield. I played that on the original PlayStation 1, and it's so weird.
It's so ugly as fuck.
It was, but man, that blew my mind. But either way, what's really cool about this game is, like I said, it's more of an offensive maneuver. So you have to dodge out of the way and do certain attacks. You can do these charge-up attacks that'll knock enemies back or knock them to the ground as long as you hit them in the back. As for the gun basically works kind of like the, I don't know what you call this, the parry attack that were in the previous games. When someone's just about to attack you, and it doesn't work for all attacks, but when someone's just about to attack you, you shoot them, and they'll immediately fall to the ground. You can run up, press the button, and just take out a ton of damage, just instantly. But it's all about noticing those patterns and recognizing when they're going to attack. A lot like Punch-Out.
Colin, question.
Yes.
Best use of a blunderbuss since Time Splitters, yes or no?
Yes.
Right.
You will not be facing zombies and blowing off their heads like the classic Time Splitters of 2001. However, you actually get to choose from 2 different guns right from the get-go, a pistol or a blunderbuss. You get to pick from an axe or a razor weapon. But my favorite right now is this sword, right? It's just a regular looking kind of medieval sword that you can set into its second form, which is a sledgehammer. You just reach back and connect it to the hammer part and just start smashing away at monsters. It's really cool. This game is so good.
Why? I'm not going to have to buy a damn PS4.
Yes.
So like I made of money.
Hey, at least you're going to play Uncharted 4 and God of War 3 Remastered.
I don't give a flying fuck about either of those.
I'll buy it when Uncharted 4 comes out.
Yeah. I'm literally going to buy a $400 Bloodborne machine. Do you know how much that hurts me?
It should. It hurts so good. All right, you know what? I tell you what. Just buy the PS4. I'll let you share play it. There you go. It now works at 60 frames a second, even though the game is only 30 frames a second, which is kind of disappointing. It kind of is, because you really want to recognize the patterns of these enemies attacking. What's also disappointing is that there are some environments that are, the Blight Town of Bloodborne, where the frame rate takes a bit of a hit, and every once in a while it'll just go, especially when there's a lot of elemental effects like steam. And it's just fascinating running into this game world, seeing these villagers trying to attack you. Reminds you a lot of the early parts of Resident Evil 4. And then when the guns come out, which is very early on, it's just, holy Jesus. Right away, you're fighting giant orcs, crazy dogs, werewolves, villagers, crows that just crawl on the ground and scream at you. And this is all within the first... You can watch the first hour.
Minute of your first hour is just you getting mauled by a werewolf.
It is, and it's really fun. I can't really express how enjoyable this game is. The sound effects are excellent. The environments are kind of repetitive, but what makes it really stand out is that there's just a lot of attention to detail. There are just small things that don't really need to be there, that are unnecessary, like maybe just a wheelchair in the corner of a certain room where you're like, what happened here? It's of course got the brilliant monster design that you've come to know and love, and perhaps the most important element of this game is that you don't have that Estus flask. You need to have like blood vials,
which is just an Estus flask, but
no, you have to actually
totally different.
You actually have to pick those up. You don't have something that recharges every single time that you go back to your save point, which unfortunately has some pretty long loading times whenever you jump back to the hub world, which is very small, but allows you to upgrade, all that good stuff. But the coolest part about this game, what makes it so goddamn aggressive, you'll find this out when you fight your first boss. Every time you get hit, you lose health, but you'll notice this weird extra line that's above where you got hit, like very far above. If you attack the enemy multiple times, you can actually rebuild that bar all the way up.
Oh.
So sometimes you can work it out where it's like, okay, I know I'm going to get hit really hard by this one attack.
But if I get super aggressive afterwards?
I'm going to get all my health back. Huh. So it's this totally different style of gameplay from Dark Souls that really helps it stand out. If you were disappointed by Dark Souls 2, this is the game for you. This is the game for me. Yeah, you're going to be spending 9 hours repeating the exact same sequence until you realize, I should probably just go through path B. It's excellent. I can't say enough good things.
That's interesting. Well, especially like the combat and how you can regain life. Because I think Dark Souls really played with your anxiety by making you play defensively and being terrified of getting hit even once. With this, it sounds like it plays with your anxiety in a different way, where it kind of pushes you to be aggressive when you don't want to be.
Absolutely.
Which is pretty cool sounding.
And still having to be pretty close to shoot the gun to knock someone on their ass so you can take them out. It's very intimidating. Everywhere you go, you're...
Amanda, if you're listening, buy your boyfriend a PS4. Buy him a PS4.
But seriously,
good luck with that.
There are points in this game. There are points in this game where you'll find some health or you'll find a new weapon, and it's like, awesome. Oh no. What does this mean? They're not just going to start being nice to me. What does this mean? Like, you second guess everything. As soon as, no matter how, when it's bad, you're like, oh, it's only going to get worse. And when it's good, you're like, oh God, something horrible is about to happen. It gives you this amazing psychological conditioning, but I will say the load times are insufferable. 45 seconds, way too long, inappropriate, wrong. From Software has said they're going to work on that, but beyond that,
a Hot Pocket.
Okay. I'll make some taquitos.
Actually, I saw a thing on it was on Twitter, and somebody was just like, yeah, Bloodborne's loading times kind of suck. From Software should just patch it so your Twitter feed pops up and scrolls down while you wait.
You know what? Honestly, I've caught up on a lot of replying to comments on YouTube thanks to that.
Is it better than the other game that you played the first hour of this week? That
we're gonna get to that in a second.
Meatloaf Bolt Out of Hell or whatever.
Well, why don't we go over to Brendan first, because Brendan,
is that what it's called?
You played, and we'll talk about spoiler free, so don't tune out, fair listener. We are just going to be talking about Life is Strange Episode 2. We're not going to discuss the story because it's an episodic game, but we do want to talk about a series that Brandon was very excited for when he played the very first episode, and I want to hear, is episode 2 as good, better, or a little disappointing from episode 1, which you love so much?
Yes. I think I'd say it's a little bit lower than where I would put episode 1, but not much.
Okay.
It explores a little bit deeper themes. The first episode was mostly like, you have these powers to rewind time. You can use them to rewinding conversations so people don't think you're an asshole, things like that. Kind of stupid shit.
The practical use, the everyday use.
Or like you can rewind so you can move something out of the way so something happens to somebody or doesn't happen to somebody. Whereas in the second episode, it kind of explores more large-scale applications of the powers, like helping people and saving people, and what happens when you use your powers too much and you can't use them for a period of time, and the side effects of using it too much. And it kind of delves deeper into the characters' need to help everyone, but not being able to help everyone.
It you know what? The way you're describing this kind of reminds me of episode 1 is almost kind of like the, I guess you would say the kind of like the middle second act of Spider-Man Part 1, where he just has his powers and it's really fun and he's fighting Bonesaw and everything's cool.
Yeah.
You know, or first act, where he just got his powers and everything's enjoyable and it's very casual and it's kind of like, it's just neat to see someone have fun. Whereas this sounds like responsibility is intervening at this point.
Yeah, and honestly, I can't say enough about the music that they use for it. The music in the game is unbelievable.
Well, it's a French studio, right? Don't nod.
I believe so. But the music is it's kind of like indie, acoustic-ish.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah, but it fits really well with the story and like where the character is and like where her head is at and the setting, and everything just comes together in a way that makes the story feel so much more real than it should.
What's the name of that independent artist, the film teacher that became an acoustic guitarist, Iron and something?
Iron and Wine?
Iron and Wine. I thought it was Iron and Wine. I just didn't want to say it out loud because that sounds ridiculously stupid. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty
Wait,
good.
here's my 10-second Iron and Wine story. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Ready? Go. Okay, so back in like 2004 or 2005, I went to an Iron and Wine concert. There was a shit ton of people there, so we're waiting outside to get into the venue. While I was waiting outside to get into the venue, which was on Woodward Avenue, the longest street in the city of Detroit, Michigan, it's really fucking big, very, very busy. There was a homeless guy. He walked out in the middle of the street. He dropped his pants down to his ankles, and he began masturbating in the middle of Woodward Avenue. The end.
And that man was Iron and Wine.
So anyways.
Seriously, I like his early stuff better. I like lo-fi. Move on.
When I tell that story, listen to Naked as They Came by
I know, that's the worst title.
So back to Life is Strange. As much as that was fascinating, episode 2 is great. Episode 1 is a little bit better, if only because it's not as heavy. But the story does go to a place where I feel it needs to go to kind of show you that it's not all fun and games, and this is a real type world where there are consequences for actions, and
it's real sci-fi.
It's a really, really good game.
It's real sci-fi.
I mean, I have not enjoyed a game this much in a very, very long time.
Episode 3, looking forward to it?
Yes. Hopefully it comes out soonish.
How much does the whole season cost anyway?
I think it's 25 or 20 on Steam.
Well,
there are certain places where you can get it cheaper. They may be in South America. That's all I'm going to say.
So strong recommend?
Yes. Yeah. Absolute must buy. Great game.
I appreciate you not spoiling anything because I haven't played yet either.
It was difficult.
You know what? I'm not going to play it till all the episodes come out. Maybe we'll do a spoiler cast.
I probably should have just done that.
No.
It's killing me.
No, we'll do a spoiler cast when it's all done. Okay?
No, I mean, not being able to play it all is killing me.
I know.
Like, I really want to play more.
Actually, once we're off air, I have a couple of spoilery questions to ask you, but I don't want to.
Well, you shush because I don't want to hear it. Brandon. Steve!
Are you Brandon too?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, everybody's Brandon.
Steve.
My beard's not.
What did you play this week?
I played a bunch of old ass games because I'm poor as hell. It's called Grad School, man.
What lame ass shit
Grad School is not a game. If it was, I'd be losing. There was a Humble bundle, and it was like the Humble roguelike bundle or something. So I was like, all right, whatever. I like roguelikes. That's what I've been playing a lot of lately. Brandon probably bought that too.
Yep.
So I've played a couple of games out of that. I played a game called Wizard's Lizard, which is not about a wizard's penis. It's just kind of a dungeon crawler thing. And it's not very good. It's all like grid-based, which is annoying because I like 8-directional movement.
Yeah, me too.
And the look is kind of
That's how I live my life.
Cheap
I don't
looking.
walk in 4 directions.
I live my life in 8 directions.
I live my life in 8 directions.
You know what? If you only drive in 4 directions, you're going to drive off a cliff. Don't live your life that way.
Don't live your life that way. So that's okay. The one cool mechanic in that is after you die initially, you go into like ghost mode, and there's like different enemies because you're in ghosty land. I don't know. I haven't played it that much. I didn't really like it. It was okay. Not
worth the 24 cents you paid for it.
No, it was certainly worth the price I paid. I don't see myself going back to it very much. The one that I did play and I've been playing basically daily for the past week a game called Heavy Bullets.
Mm-hmm.
Procedurally generated first-person shooter.
You were really into these procedurally generated games.
I know. I really like it conceptually, especially when you start to see like procedurally generated doesn't mean completely random. It just means like shuffling around certain room types, and it allows you to like kind of, come up with a strategy around that.
Absolutely.
So the cool thing about Heavy Bullets is the titular bullets that you shoot. You have 6 shots. I really want to say titular.
Yeah, I know. I
could have gone with eponymous, but I went with titular.
I do remember this game, actually. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
So you have 6 bullets in your chamber or whatever. When you shoot those bullets, you have to go and pick them back up and then manually reload them.
Right.
So a lot of times enemies are going to be coming at you really fast. You'll have 2, 3 coming at you at once, and you have to sort of not only really plan your shots and make sure you're not just like spamming ammo, but you have to like strategically then go and pick shit up and reload. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's a nice take on the whole roguelike thing. The only thing is it's hard as fucking balls, and I'm terrible at it.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how does it compare to Blackthorn on the SNES?
It is easier to control.
Okay. What about VR Racer on the Genesis?
Fuck VR.
Scale 1 to 10.
What? VR Racer on the Genesis?
I was trying to come up with an analog for this game, and I couldn't, so I just started making up random.
There isn't anything. I mean,
I was just thinking of games from 1994.
Yeah, it's it does fall into the trap of and this is what roguelikes are bad at.
I thought you were honestly going to answer that. I was like, no.
I'm not gonna
in terms of like, is it like Eternal Champions or?
It's a lot like Eternal Champions.
Can you play as Blaze?
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's sometimes I feel like roguelikes are hard just to be difficult, like just to be fucking assholes.
Isn't that what most of them are?
Well, yeah, but so a great example of this is a great example of a perfect roguelike is Spelunky, which is difficult, but like the moment that you play Spelunky, whether it's the first time you played it or the 100th time you played it, you have all the tools necessary to beat Spelunky. It's just a matter of like increasing your skill.
There is something kind of refreshing about something procedurally generated. It almost takes the pressure off of having to memorize locations where it's like, okay, I can just be introduced to pure mechanics.
Exactly. It's all about you developing as a player. Where a lot of other roguelikes, even ones that I love, like I love Rogue Legacy. I think it's amazing.
Rogue Legacy, top tier.
Yeah, I dropped like 80 hours into it. But the problem with Rogue Legacy is
cut his mic, Brandon. Cut his mic. Don't do this.
You're not as a player. You're not prepared from the beginning to win.
Yeah, it's true.
You're not prepared for like the first 15 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And and I like the generational mechanic and everything, but Spelunky gives you all the tools. You have everything. The whole toolbox is there. It's just a matter of like learning how to use them, and you don't have that in games like Rogue Legacy. And other games, you run the same things. Like Catacomb Kids is a lot of fun as well, but it's also like you get your fucking ass kicked every time you play it.
You know what's weird? Not to bring it back, but Bloodborne and the Dark Souls series kind of reminds you of like an amalgam of a different version of the roguelike, where these enemies are always going to respawn unless you play Dark Souls 2. Like if you attempt to even get health back, well, that's fine. They get everything back too. So there is, even though there's a progression system and leveling up, you're still kind of trapped at the whim of the location. You know that it will always be this way, and you can't change it.
Yeah.
If anything, it'll get harder.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if the Souls games are ever going to be able to get past like the grindy elements of them, because I know Dark Souls 2 tried to.
Yeah.
But in Dark Souls 1, I love that game. It's one of my favorites, but I felt like there were certain parts of the game where I knew what I had to do to beat a boss or a level, but I just couldn't because my character wasn't there yet. So I had to grind for the sake of grinding.
I do think Bloodborne does a better job of this, even though I think Dark Souls still had this element, the infamous skeletons, when you start out the game, where really all you got to do is just go in the other direction. There's always somewhere else to go. There's always, if it, and everybody says this now, which is so funny because it's a natural conclusion everyone comes to. If it's too difficult, you probably don't need to be there. But when it comes to roguelikes, that's a little bit different. Would you say that this, what's the name of this game again?
Heavy Bullets?
Heavy Bullets. I was going to say Heavy Guns.
Guns.
Would you say that it's on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm sorry, I keep doing that to you.
Because I fucking hate scales.
I honestly didn't mean to do that.
It's a fuck Colin out of 100.
How difficult is this game?
How difficult is it?
Yeah, overall.
Like 0 to 50.
Shut up.
Or just 1 to 10, how difficult is it?
No, you don't need to do a 1 to 10.
Well, I mean, I need it on some scale. It's fucking hard. It's one of the hardest games I've ever played.
On a grading system, F through A.
Is A hard as fuck? Or is F hard as fuck because fuck starts with F?
Let's find out.
I don't. It's hard. It's very hard. I've played a lot of games. I really enjoy roguelikes. I feel like I'm pretty good at roguelikes because that's all I've been playing for the last year because there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
I'll say it's the hardest. It's the hardest roguelike I've played.
Whoa.
But that could also be because...
You played Binding of Isaac and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Why did I pronounce Isaac that way?
Isaac.
You played Binding of
Have you played the Binding of Isaac?
It's like I patched it in after the episode. Like, have you played the Binding of Isaac?
You almost had like a Borat inflection there. The Binding of Isaac.
All right. Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury?
Yeah.
He does look like Freddie Mercury.
No, Facebook finally announced the news that we all heard 12 months ago that he's going to be writing and directing that biopic of Freddie Mercury.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, but it was the number one trending story on Facebook, even though that was already announced a year ago.
Facebook's they're on the cusp, man. They always cutting edge.
I know.
I think again, Binding of Isaac it's a little bit easier for me. Spelunky was easier for me to, and it could just be the first person perspective too, because a lot of times you'll get into a room and you can't really like visualize everything around you, and you don't know how to attack certain points. Also, the enemies so imagine a world that has the same color scheme as Hotline Miami.
Oh, beautiful!
But in first person. So it's just everything is just like neon pink, neon green, like contrasted with blacks, but the enemies are like that too. So sometimes shit's coming at you, but you don't know if it's the background or if it's an enemy, and it gets kind of crazy.
Is that bundle still available?
No.
That doesn't matter. I'm gonna go buy this game.
You can get. I think Heavy Bullets is only like $8, $9, $10 maybe regularly.
Yeah. I'm gonna go buy it because you just
before you do that, let me check my humble library. I might have extra keys.
Oh, and it's a Devolver Digital game too. So the Hotline Miami.
Speaking of Devolver Digital,
segue. Hey, baby.
Actually, no, I don't think it was Devolver Digital.
Botch segue.
No,
Botchamania.
Speaking of extremely hard first-person shooter roguelike type games, have you played Super Wolfenstein HD?
No,
Whoa,
I haven't.
what
Tell
is
me
that?
I want to say it was Free Lives that made it. The same guys that did Broforce. It was for some game jam, and it's like Wolfenstein except with severely exaggerated physics, and you have very, very limited ammo, and you have to use multiple shots to kill any enemies.
Oh god,
that's awesome!
And you don't get ammo very often, and your knife, you throw it, and you can pick it back up if it doesn't get lodged in like a wall or something.
That's cool.
But
another game I really want to play is it was a game jam game, a first person shooter. It's called like 420 Blaze of Blunt Game of the Year.
Whoa.
Get Wrecked edition or something like that.
It's and it was
I forget who developed it, but it was some guy who developed like some like nice touchy-feely indie game, and you never would have expected
from the director of Gone Home.
Yeah, no, seriously, that's what it's like something like that. I don't know.
Well, guys, let's close out the games of the week with the final game of the week.
Cabela's.
No, trust me. Cabela's is a great game. I would rather talk about Cabela's than have to talk about Yorby Episode 1, Paybacks of Bolt.
Bolt out of hell.
No. Hear me out. Yeah. You want to hear about this? First of all,
I don't.
I went to their website.
Wait, so Yorby in the Blind Forest.
So I looked up Yorby. I Googled it, right? I wanted to find out more about this game. And on Google, on the Google cache, there was listed an Xbox One version. But when I clicked on the official site, that had been removed. Oh, that's a good sign. It also announced that the game was going to be 1080p and 60 frames a second. It is neither. That's not a good... Oh, I guess you could say it's 1080p, but it ain't 1080p. You know, you can tell it's upscaled, and it's also running maybe at 30, maybe? It's hard to tell because of how janky it is. Also, Yorby, Episode 1, Paybacks of Bolt, in bold captions it says, "This is not an episodic game. This is a full title." Okay. Yeah, this is where it gets weird.
Wait, hold on. Are you maybe starting to see a problem with the I play all the games model you're working with?
I like the I play all the games model. It makes me a special boy.
Just saying.
I gotta get a 3DS capture card. That's on my to-do list. That's
is that a thing?
Oh yeah, but there's also a new 3DS capture card coming up first. So I don't know what to do. Either way, which means I have to buy a new 3DS and a fucking capture card. That's $500 fucking. Jeez, for real, bro.
All that money just to be angry.
Yeah. I like being angry. But
apparently,
here's what we got. Here's what we got. Yorby. The story is something about robots, and all the robots got turned off, and then an evil doctor turned the robots back on, and then one of the robots is like, "I'm not going to be evil." I can't tell. It's a complete and utter mess.
Terminator?
I guess, but you basically play as Clank from Ratchet and Clank, although just different enough that they won't get sued. And it is a isometric, third-person, twin sticks shooter. And I say it like that because the twin sticks element comes into play as the camera is moving along all the time. The camera's static, but it moves for you. And you don't actually pick where you're shooting. Yeah, you use the right analog stick to pick where the auto lock is going to go.
So you're just like suggesting ideas for the AI.
This becomes especially infuriating when you're standing in front of a giant gun that's going bah, 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 shooting you in the face, and it's going, you know what? There's that little rascal over about 30 yards north. You want to lock onto him. And your bullets are just completely missing this giant gun that's shooting. So you're trying to angle your stupid body right in the direction where it'll intercept with the giant gun. It'll take all the damage.
It sounds like, what?
Oh, we got more. Wait, hold on. No, there's more. There's more. So your gun makes the sound effect. Pew, pew, pew.
It actually pew-pews?
Yeah. And the enemies make a gun noise that's exactly the same. Pew, pew, pew. And the enemies never stop shooting. And you never stop shooting, except for when your gun overheats after like 4 shots, so that you have to wait a good 5 seconds for the gun to recharge to allow you to shoot. So the whole time you're playing, you're just hearing beep, 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 like non-stop for an hour and 40 minutes, because that's how long the game is, and then it's over.
How much does it pay for that?
$20.
So it's not even a first hour, it's the first 3/4 of the game.
Let me keep going. I'm on a roll right here. Here's what's even better about the game is that Yorby is a character. Let me tell you, you can play as 4 different characters, but only Yorby talks, and Yorby has a lot to say, like, I've had better.
There's like Bubsy?
Oh, he's like Duke Nukem / Bubsy, and there's just a point where he's like, this is my boomstick. Or he even says, I like it rough. Or, these are not the droids I'm looking for. Oh, Yorby. Classic Yorby.
Hey, man, in the future, there's a robot uprising and everyone speaks in memes.
Oh, no. He actually has a point where he goes, beep, bop, boop. I can't speak robot. And if you don't like those catchphrases, too fucking bad, because you're going to be hearing them over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Would you call Yorby a metal dude with attitude?
I
feel like my life was better before I knew this existed.
The best part is, after you die, which you'll do all the time, but don't worry, you just start exactly where you left off. I mean, exactly where you left off. He just teleports right in. He just says something like, just put the controller down and walk away. Really not smart move on Yorby's part. Oh, yeah. By the way, you can actually upgrade your weapons and buy new weapons by getting these coins, but the coins only exist in these boxes, but you can't shoot the boxes because the boxes will fly off the edge of the levels. You have to use your melee attack, which is incredibly slow. And when you hit the boxes, the coins teleport outside of the box area, so you can never just walk right in front of it. You have to just keep moving around in a circle, bashing all these boxes, hopefully getting a coin without walking off the edge due to the slippery controls. Worse yet, when you're using the melee attack, Yorby just stops moving altogether. His legs just go completely stiff, like sliding along the floor. But don't worry, if you need to get anywhere, you can use his turbo burst of speed, which you do by holding down the left analog stick. And you know what his turbo burst of speed is? Maybe about 1% faster than his walking animation. And the whole time you're doing this, keep in mind, there's just beep, 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 the entire time. So when you finally get all the coins, you go to level up your weapon. Guess what? Fuck you, because it requires 2 forms of currency. You need the coins, and then you need these random sticks, and these sticks just, I don't even know what these fucking things are. So you level up, or you pick up a new shotgun or something, and by the way, the shotgun is actually pretty different. It's a different color of the same fucking laser that doesn't go as far, and it has no additional damage. Or you can get a machine gun, which is slightly different. Or you can get a pipe bomb or an EMP bomb. But all the weapons are useless because the EMP bomb, that actually overcharges after 1 shot. The machine gun runs out of ammo almost immediately, although you can upgrade that weapon. But you better not, you have to pick one weapon you want to upgrade. Don't veer from one or the other, because otherwise you're going to have to pick up more coins, which takes forever. Because like I said, if you shoot the boxes, they fly off the edge of the stage.
Colin, but how do you really feel?
No.
Speaking of pipe bombs,
there are 3 bosses, and 2 of them are the exact same boss. It's this area where you just sit in a seat, and these sticks, they're just a flash of light, and these sticks just fly right at you. and you have to move from left to right, shooting the sticks, until a big stick shows up who flies off the screen and continuously shoots you. So more than likely than not, you're going to die before it can get enough damage. But there's up to 4 players. Who's going to want to play this? This looks honestly like a bad PlayStation 2 game. Oh, and the music? Have you ever heard Fruity Loops sampler pack? That's all it is. I'm not even exaggerating. It is literally samples from Fruity Loops pasted together, and it's just the same repetitious song, each for individual levels. There's only 5.
This got on PS4. It sounds like
$20.
It sounds like Steam shovelware, basically.
Maybe it's not actually a game.
It's an experiment.
Yeah.
To test the...
Actually, wait, okay. I can't keep the joke up anymore. Me and Brandon, we got together, we bought some Unity assets, and we just wanted to fuck with you.
I believe it. I would absolutely believe you.
You're actually the only person who bought it. Then we had McDonald's with your $20.
I would absolutely believe you. I would absolutely believe you because Yorby is the worst. So basically, here's what you've got. I've had better. You fall off the thing. Trying to grab coins. This goes on.
I have some
non-stop.
follow-up questions.
I told you I could guess.
At any point, does Yorby say, suck lead, bolthead?
No, but he does say...
Does he say, Yorby dead?
No, he says, sucks to be you.
Suck lead, bolthead.
A 12-year-old wrote all of this dialogue, and it gets even worse.
finished.
It gets even worse because there's so many points where the enemies are just teleporting off screen where you can't see them, and so there'll be an enemy right in front of you, right? An enemy right in front of you that you're trying to shoot, but the auto lock on says, no, you want to shoot the guy that's clearly hiding behind a wall. For some reason. But if you hide behind a wall, there are just random walls that you can hide behind.
Oh my God.
And there are random walls that you can't hide behind. I mean, you'll just be standing there and nothing's happening to the wall, but you'll be flashing red because the bullets are going through the fucking wall for no apparent reason. But the wall right next to it, no problem. And then there's just these pickups, like pick up more ammo. You could be down to your last bullet and you try and pick up this box of ammo and you just walk right through it. But if you walk away for like 5 seconds and then walk back, you can just pick it up. There's no reason. There's no reason it activates.
Broken Robot Meme Shooter 2015.
It is the worst game on the PlayStation 4, and I have played damn near all of them. I have played the downloadable titles. I have played the physical release titles. I have played all the titles that have come out on the Wii since then. I have played all those Xbox One games. This is absolutely the worst thing I played this whole generation. Everyone says Basement Crawl. This is so funny because Bloodborne is the best exclusive on the PlayStation 4, bar none. Last of Us, maybe, but that's also on the PlayStation 3. So you've got Bloodborne, best exclusive, and Yorby, and they just collided into this shitstorm on Tuesday where I just felt like I was in the fucking Indiana Jones movie. My face is melting off and blowing up. I just couldn't believe it. I imagine just being like in a hot tub, and then someone just took a bucket of ice and threw it right in your face.
Question: would you rather play a sequel to Yorby or
episode 2?
Yeah, episode 2.
Which there is
This
none.
answer is none. Okay, because
For a
obviously
reason.
Yorby episode 1 is gonna be so successful. So would you rather play Yorby episode 2, or would you rather play the first Ratchet and Clank game, but the camera is spinning around you constantly the entire time while Gungam Style plays?
I'm not done. You know what? I'll take Ratchet and Clank. I mean, I'm not done yet. I'm not even fucking done yet because I forgot to
really
mention.
hoping he was done.
The end boss, out of nowhere, they just decide, well, we have nothing else to do, so why don't we make our bad controls even worse? What they do is they literally say, okay, they warn you on the screen, left and right have now been inverted, so you're trying to walk along this narrow cliff, and left and right have been
They
inverted.
just invert your controls for
and
fun?
then up and down, get inverted, and then they get rid of jumping. They literally get rid of everything in the game where you're just running around and shooting and dying. You're just waiting for it to be over. It just keeps going and going. Oh, you know what? Spoiler alert. You want to know the ending to the game? Yorby dies. Yorby just dies for no reason. But then they zoom in and they show his hand twitch a little bit. Yorby, stay dead and get fucked. I never want to see Happy Dance games on anything ever again. This is a travesty. They charge $20. Fucking shame on you. I never get this riled up at any game. This is a scam. This is clearly, like you said, Unity assets just thrown together. Horrible music, horrible gameplay, horrible voice acting, horrible repetitive sound effects. Horrible. Stay away. Fuck you, Yorby.
Who's the dev?
I'm gonna
Happy
watch
Dance
the
games.
fuck
Happy Dance
out
games.
of this first hour.
No. You can watch also my first hour weekly. You know what's crazy? Which I take all the episodes and I piece them together. Like, of the show. It's like 5 minutes for this game, 5 minutes for this game, 5 minutes for this game, 15 minutes Yorby. Because I couldn't, it was just so much to show. It's horrible.
But is there an actual whole first hour? Just
Oh,
of
yeah.
Yorby?
And the
I'm
game,
gonna watch the fuck out of that video.
If I submit an interview request to Happy Dance Games, can we put it on the show?
oh, yeah. By the way, real quick, I just want to make sure that you understand the enemies never stop shooting. It's that sound effect for an hour and 40 minutes. I can't stress this enough.
I'm happy that you continued playing it after the first hour, too.
I had to see.
Were you fucking, like, whipping yourself while you did it?
This is exactly what happened to me with the fucking Mad Hazard game. It's like, I paid for it.
Yeah.
I damn well better beat it, even though it's terrible.
Have you ever seen that movie Crash? And I don't mean like the 2000s movies. I'm talking about that 90s movie where the couples like to have sex during a car accident.
The David Cronenberg car accident sex movie, yeah.
Exactly. That's basically what this was. I was so fucking traumatized. I'm like, well, I got to go back.
It was like fucking in a car accident.
Yeah, it was like fucking in a car accident, you know? Except so, like, you're the one that gets fucked. If you pay for this game $20, I can't stress this enough. And it blows my mind. It blows my mind.
10 out of 10?
Yes. Yeah. Highly recommend it.
Game of the year. It's your goatee.
Highly recommend it.
So
I forgot you played Mad Hazard. We're Mad Hazard bros.
Oh my god!
I'm so sorry.
I kind of want to go back and play it.
I don't know, guys. I feel like I just broke out of like a basement after 25 years, and I just need to scream from the hills like
halfway
avoid.
Through that, I was like, I think I need to start smoking again.
Once the podcast really takes off and video games are dumb is like, you know, a big pop culture icon.
What do you mean when?
And we have our candy room mansions.
Yeah, so when we have our candy room mansions, I think we should do a charity stream where me and Brandon just choose games to make you go insane.
You know,
and then we see if we can break you.
I listen to every single episode of the PressureCast. I've never been this angry.
We just put him in a room with 2 consoles and 2 TVs and just lock the door. One has Mad Hazard, one has Yorby. And as soon as he beats one, the other one starts up and he has to keep going.
Hey, do me a favor, just put a gun in between him so I can get the hell out of there.
You have to beat each of them 10 times each in order to get the gun.
Fuck Yorby. You guys want to do? Can we move on? Do you guys want to do the pressure points?
Sure.
All right, guys, it's the pressure points. Guess what, guys? Call of Duty has officially sold 175 million copies to date.
Oh wow, that game is popular. I didn't.
How many copies did Yorby sell?
Shut up. This is
just 172.
Here's some really fun facts about it. Over 100 billion multiplayer matches have taken place, with over 300 billion grenades have been thrown, and over $11 billion in total lifetime revenue.
How many cans of Mountain Dew were drank?
Oh man, do they?
And bags of Doritos.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, I will still say Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, excellent game. Still saying it. I highly recommend it. Wait for it to drop in price, obviously, because, Jesus, way too expensive on Steam. Guess what? The Destiny vaults have expanded, but there's going to be a problem with the PlayStation 3 and 360 versions. Of course, the vault's the area that people use to get lots of items in short periods of time. According to Brad Fish, the game's engineer, the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 versions will actually lose the ability to compare items. We had a choice to leave the vault as is or find some kind of comparison to enable it safely. We weighed the options with player feedback in mind and decided to move forward with the expansion by disabling the item comparison feature within the vault on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Cross-gen, huh?
How about it?
I don't know. Guys, give me a feedback on this. What do you think about this? A new Guitar Hero is possibly going to be announced on April 1st, which of course is April Fool's Day. There was
Didn't they already announce a new Guitar Hero?
No, that was
new Rock Band.
Yeah. Here's what happened.
Oh yeah.
So they both got to whip out their dicks so they can slap them together.
Go Rock Band. Rock Band.
Yeah, let's kill the genre all over again.
Well, according to Game Reactor UK, they actually had some details on this from an Activision invite that was sent out that was then removed from Game Reactor UK. Makes you wonder. Here's the exact quote itself. The event is set for April 1st in Hamburg, Rock City, and the publisher encourages journalists to rock the shack with us.
Rock the shack.
Bottom line, Guitar Hero had better controllers, Rock Band had better music.
I still prefer the Guitar Hero, the Rock Band controllers. I like my little solo keys towards the bridge.
I thought I actually slipped into a wormhole a couple of weeks ago because I was on the bus and some kid was playing like the fucking like
the 3DS one?
The DDS or 3DS fucking Rock Band, just like chotching out on the
Rock
bus. I was like, what are
tour?
you doing?
Wow.
Where am I?
I respect that child more than any man I've ever known.
Yeah, so I was just... I the bus drove into a black hole and we landed in 2006 briefly, but made it out alive.
Did you manage to stop Yorby from getting there?
No, I couldn't find... What is it? Happy Fun Games?
Okay, moving on. So
it's an anagram for fuck Colin.
Hideo Kojima is, of course, having some weird times over at his former home or current home, or who can say what's going on here, over at Konami. Now, he was going to have this whole Kojima Station broadcast. He's been doing this for the past couple of months, detailing stuff about the Phantom Pain, the upcoming 5th entry, or 10th or 11th, if you count all the other ones, of the Metal Gear series. However, it's been silenced. In fact, Konami has officially said that they apologize, but there are no further broadcasts from the Kojima Station. Is this further indication that it's all over for Kojima? Is this... Steve, you're remarking that this is just simply Japanese business culture. How so?
Because they're very, I don't know, they're kind of stiff and straight-laced about everything. So if Kojima and them had a disagreement... they're basically just going to kind of shuffle him off. A lot of Japanese business culture, it's kind of like when you read those stories about bad teachers that they can't fire, so they put them in the bad teacher room and they just kind of sit there and chill out all day.
Yeah.
Japanese business culture, you don't necessarily get fired. A lot of times they'll just go...
The window seat.
Yeah, we're just going to shove you in this windowless room where you have to sit here and with your thoughts.
Famously happened to Yu Suzuki over at Sega and Gunpei Yokoi over at Nintendo.
Yeah.
But Kojima seems to be an exception here because, of course, his games are successful. So why are they trying to erase his name from all of his products? Well, according to Konami, the reason you're not seeing a Kojima production on the Metal Gear titles is due to, quote, a change in production organizations, as well as, in accordance with the recent changes in production organization of all of Konami, Kojima Productions, as well as the other internal production companies, they had its name, etc., changed to move into the corporate headquarter work structure.
This is pretty terrifying for Konami because they literally have nothing other than the Phantom Pain. There's nothing going on with the Silent Hill thing right now. They're not doing anything with Castlevania. I do have a plan to save them, though. Okay, so what you do is you've kicked Kojima out, so now you have full control. So you insert microtransactions, but not any microtransactions. You charge someone $1.99 if they want to fast forward through a cutscene.
Oh, there you go.
And that's how you recoup all your losses.
Apparently, Silent Hills, this is all rumor, but apparently it will continue without Kojima. They just attached him in general. Hey, it's, what is his name?
Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah.
AKA, I've got really big ideas, and 99% of the time I fuck them up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hot take.
Okay, moving on.
Wait, so Kojima,
Nothing official.
Did Kojima leave Konami under his own free will, or did
we don't know
him leave? Because if he left, which it's why?
Well, he did send out a picture of a helicopter.
But
and it said heading off.
Maybe he's just an aviation enthusiast.
No, the question is, did they push him out, which would be stupid, or did he leave did he want to leave? Because if he said, you know what, guys, I think I'm out, and then they were like, oh yeah, well, fuck you, we're going to take your name off everything, you're not doing this, then the word everyone is looking for to explain it is butthurt.
Maybe. It just could be an idea that they want to erase him, not because they're offended by this, but because they don't want to make it seem like the series is in danger when the first title that doesn't have Hideo Kojima's name on it pops up.
I don't know. It just seems like the same story that we've been getting for the past 2-3 years, which is famous Japanese game dev / auteur stifled creatively and leaves.
We don't know what Igarashi's up to. Yeah, he left. Must be bored.
Miyamoto's just hanging out on his couch man, I got it good.
Mm-hmm. You got that right. Here's, according to the COO of GameStop, Tony Bartel, he says, don't expect so many pack-in titles. Now, of course, we had the Assassin's Creed pack-in, we had the Call of Duty pack-in, lots of pack-ins, official and unofficial. Which one? Titanfall pack-in. Here's what he had to say. Based on our discussions with publishers and platform holders, these pack-in programs will be significantly reduced in 2015. We believe that the new software sales were impacted in the latter part of 2014 as many games were given away as subsidized marketing incentives in next-generation hardware bundles. Seems like a good idea. Normally we don't get these pack-ins towards the end of a generation. They're saying, let's encourage people right now to jump on, and then we can charge them for a bunch of stuff later on. Razor and Blade finally taking hold when it comes to pack-in titles? Yeah, no, maybe so?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, obviously, if they had a pack-in title for Bloodborne, which they do actually, and you also get a copy of The Last of Us for $400 and a $20 gift card over at Target.
Wait, you get The Last of Us packed in with a PlayStation?
And Bloodborne.
But The Last of Us?
Yes, sir.
They've never done that before.
No,
the best game of last generation, just saying.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, if you don't know, they're going to make you know because you're going to fucking play it.
Hey, it is a very... I
that's the problem, though. Like, everybody that's played it, it's not an incentive at all. It's like...
It's Sony's Mario Duck Hunt.
Au contraire.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the replay value of Duck Hunt or Mario.
Multiplayer is excellent, Last of Us. But more importantly, all it is that little nag in the back of your head where you're kind of like, well... I already know I like The Last of Us, and I get it free, so I can justify this purchase I can't really afford right now. Top ramen for the rest of the month, everybody.
I don't need justification. I just decide I'm going to buy something whether I can afford it or not. It's called credit cards, people. Step your game up.
Seriously, dude, though, the Empire State Building just seems outside of your budget. I just want you to reconsider. We're overly worried about your financial future.
And sold.
Okay.
Too late.
Okay. Well, try to warn them. Okay. GameStop apparently had a okay fourth quarter of 2015.
GameStop, we're okay.
They're doing okay. Basically, their total global sales were $3.48 billion, but that is a 5.6% decrease compared to the same quarter last year. However, their digital sales have increased dramatically, up 41.4%. That's $368.8 million during that quarter.
Okay, there'll be Blockbuster Video in less than a decade.
But
fingers crossed.
But that digital sale has to do with Congregate, which seems to be becoming more and more popular. Once I just looked at it as some silly GameStop gimmick that was attempting to cash in. Looks like it's actually getting some momentum.
I bought 2 games on GameStop digitally.
What'd you get?
Deadpool and Ghostbusters, because they weren't on Steam anymore.
You know, it seemed successful. Blockbuster Online, their streaming service.
What? Oh God,
They're Netflix.
Guys, I don't know if you're aware.
Netflix mailing service I used to have.
I worked at a Blockbuster for 4 years. I can tell you all about Blockbuster.
Then you'll appreciate this. I think I personally bankrupted Blockbuster Video because me and my roommate signed up for their service, and at the time, like, you'd get the mail DVDs, and then
you get a free copy.
Yeah, you return to the store, and then you get a free rental. So we basically would rent like 12 movies a week and just fuck them.
Sure. They don't care. They just want you to buy some candy on the way out. Well, and you didn't, so now we're bankrupted. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
I always bought the big things of the off-brand Sour Patch Kids. Those are awesome.
Steve, you owe me one job. Battlefield Hardline had a dramatically good debut in the UK. It started off as number 1. However, it is also the biggest launch of 2015 in the UK thus far.
I was really hoping it would fail so you could use the headline "Hard Times for Hardline."
Ooh, wow.
Damn.
What am I variety?
You're not even journalisming right. Come on.
By the way, the second best game of the week, best selling, was Final Fantasy Type 0. So,
is this the Uki game charts?
Yes, it is.
Where's Skate 3?
By the way, I finally found out why Skate 3 was selling so much. PewDiePie was playing it.
Oh.
I'm dead serious.
Oh, Jesus.
He actually got that game to be reprinted.
This is less interesting than it was 15 seconds
That's fucking
ago.
wild. Like, he can play anything, and what if he... That's nuts.
Yeah, but you know what? PewDiePie more often than not plays really good games, so I'm going to give him a pass.
We should
I would not be able to be as responsible as him.
We should start a campaign to get PewDiePie to play Yorby.
No.
and then they keep making sequels, and then Colin has to keep playing them.
No.
Oh my God!
No,
we don't have to create.
No!
Hashtag Yorby for PewDiePie.
We don't have to create bad games for Colin to play. He finds them just fine on his own.
Speaking of finding games, you can go to your local store, or you can go online and download them digitally.
Wait, are you talking about the
Damn
net?
you and your segues.
How did February go for digital games? Well, according to Super Data, that they track all the games and their downloads, they said February had a total of $233 million just in February. Sounds good, right? Well, bad news. That is a 3.7% decline year over year.
Not games for all platforms?
Yeah, there's nothing to play.
Here's a quote from Superdata. They were talking about the games that sold as well as Evolve's lack of selling. High price points for items and upgrade in Evolve's in-game store proved only optimistic, especially considering the initial purchase price of $60. With the game's strong emphasis on multiplayer gameplay, this tactic may have deterred the initial wave of consumers. Overall, the game sold 192,702 digitally boxed units, so digital copies, that's terminology, in its first month, thereby negatively affecting its user base in the long term.
Here's my hot take. That's not too hot. Evolve, the brink of 2015.
That's actually pretty accurate. Where there's some good ideas, there's a germ of a good idea that just quickly had some antibacterial soap sprayed on it.
Brink still hurts.
Brink
it looked so good.
Yeah, I mean,
and then it came out and it was like, what the fuck?
I blame the developers. I mean, they need some restraints. They were way too much of a free radical, you know? All right.
You should take my bad joke crown.
Your face, and you're like, stop, fucking stop. The order,
Instead of buying Evolve, just buy Titanfall. All the DLC is free, and it's a better game.
The order, by the way, was in 9th place, the PlayStation 4 exclusive, and it actually only brought in $7.1 million in digital sales. Not particularly good. Dead serious, bro. Dead serious. Borderlands: The Handsome Jack Collection had a very interesting week. First of all, it was released.
Collection?
Huh?
The Handsome Collection?
Oh, whatever. Yeah.
You added a word in there. I'm just trying to help.
Yeah, that's true.
Jack and everything.
The Handsome You Don't Know Jack Collection. Officially,
I own all the You Don't Know Jack games.
Yeah, the Handsome
Steam.
You Don't Know Jack box.
The Handsome Jack box collection.
2015.
Yeah. The Xbox One version had a 16-gigabyte patch. That broke down to having 3 gigabytes for Borderlands 2 and a 13-gigabyte patch for Borderlands the pre-sequel, whereas the PlayStation 4 owners, including people like me, very, very real people that were impacted by real problems, had an 8.3-gigabyte day one patch, which, by the way, I wanted to do that first hour after midnight, but the problem was that there were so many people downloading Bloodborne and that patch that it was going to take 8 hours to download the patch. I was like, okay, see you in the morning. Yes, according to Gearbox, we strongly recommend that all players download it. By the way, the video still has horribly compressed audio for Borderlands the pre-sequel. Inexcusable. Remastered? No, not even close. Even so, Borderlands on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 is having some major frame rate problems. According to the software community developer Joe King, just wanted to pop in and ease everyone's minds a bit. The team is currently aware of both the screen tear and FPS, frames per second, issues lag.
What it stands for?
Well, they have first-person shooter lag. Yeah. It's for the audience, damn it! You guys just sit there and think I'm explaining
How
to you.
fucking stupid do you think they are?
No, not everyone knows what I'm talking about. Frames per second, lag issues, and
it's
currently
not like they went out and bought Yorby.
Needless to say, things are quite busy, and we appreciate everyone's continued patience. Is it excusable to have a re-release of games that were out on 512 megabytes of RAM systems, like literally 16 times more powerful systems, and they can't get the frame rate or the
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, when you have great games like Yorby out there, it seems kind of silly to like
you motherfuckers.
I was so worried he wasn't going to bring Yorby back.
By the way, Randy Pitchford of Gearbox Games, local con man, has announced that Borderlands 2,
the old pitcheroo,
the old pitcher, I forgot we did that, has sold over 12 million copies. Borderlands 2, over 12 million copies. Probably the best in the series, I would say, by far, even though I really do enjoy pre-sequel.
When are they coming out with the Handsome Alien Colonial Marines box?
They won't be, but if
forever.
More importantly, when are they going to come out with Borderlands 1 on the Handsome Collection? According to Randy Pitchford, once again, the fact that the Handsome Collection has Borderlands the pre-sequel and Borderlands 2 means that the original game, that there's still the original game that isn't on next gen yet. If this is successful, I'm sure the folks at 2K, the people that care about publishing and figure out how to get content in customers' hands, if customers want it, we will be noticing that. And I'd love to have those conversations about how to bring Borderlands 1 to next gen. I could go without ever playing Borderlands 1 ever again.
Does he mean current gen?
Yes, he does.
Because Borderlands and the pre-sequel and Borderlands 2 are already on next gen.
Yes,
they're on PC.
Well, yes. Okay.
Boom!
Read my Shepard article. GTA 5 and had some pretty good graphics on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. That was until the latest patch, which actually gave them a significant graphical downgrade. According to Rockstar, we are aware of some graphical issues on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 versions after GTA 5 after the most recent title update, and we are investigating a fix now. If you would like to receive an automatic email notification as soon as there's more information, please log into the support site and click subscribe on the top of this page. A lot of PC enthusiasts just immediately came out and said, there you go, potato box, that's what you deserve. But seriously, why on earth would you downgrade the graphics during an update? Wouldn't that be noticeable to the developer? Or do you think they were trying to get away with something and we're just hoping people would notice?
I don't know, it's really... I don't understand. I cannot make heads or tails of that at all.
They're all coked out.
Huh?
They're all cocaine, out. Yeah. It's all coke and hookers at Rockstar.
Over in Ireland. Famous for Guinness. Halo.
For cocaine.
And drinking and beating.
See, that's very true. Halo is coming to PC. I'm Irish, guys. Colin Tanner. Look into it.
Check me out on Ancestry.com, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely felt like I was in danger when you were talking about Yorby.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Halo is actually returning to the PC after a long hiatus. And with the brand new game, Halo Online, there's only one catch. It's only coming to Russia. It's going to basically run a modified version of the Halo 3 engine, though it'll be optimized for smooth performance on, quote, lower-end computers. Here's the statement. While there's no campaign mode, Halo Online is set on a secret UNSC space installation called Anvil, where Spartan Force soldiers train together in war exercises to sharpen their battle skills and test experimental technology. Now, there's going to be a closed beta later this spring, once again, only in Russia. If you're interested, though, here's what they've said. Right now, our focus is on learning as much as we can from the closed beta period in Russia. Theoretically, as any expansion outside of Russia would have to go through region-specific changes to address player expansions. Lots of PC players disappointed to hear that this game isn't going to be in the United States. How likely will this come to the United States?
Let's just pretend I made a Soviet-Russia joke.
Okay.
I'm too tired.
Okay, so...
Chief Master you!
This is...
in Soviet Russia. Yeah. In Soviet Russia, space marine shoot you in face.
Man, it's so funny that we can still make fun of them from, like, 30-year-old jokes.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a Halo game.
Yes.
That's only coming out in Russia.
And only online.
So this is arguably... top 3 biggest franchises in the world? Is that fair?
No.
As far as games go? Mm-mm. You don't think it's a top 3 franchise?
Not even close. No.
Top 5?
Nope. Maybe top 15.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know what your metric system is.
They only sold 33 million copies.
There's a type of Mountain Dew that was created specifically for Halo.
This is like a cultural touchstone, especially for the teens.
GTA.
Wait, what the hell is Final Fantasy?
It's oh god, how do you describe it? Have you ever eaten a sandwich and then halfway through you said, I don't care for this anymore?
The point is, this is a major franchise.
Sure.
It's Microsoft's cash cow.
Yeah.
Major-ish.
And, yeah. Top 15, I think, Montana. And you're only putting it out in Russia?
Yeah.
Doesn't that mean it's probably a giant steaming pile of garbage?
Well, Call of Duty actually has a pretty decent online game that's only available in China.
Where you shoot capitalists.
But there's like a bazillion people in China. Why would you just put out a game in Russia? That's like, I don't know.
We'll find out this spring when Master Green turns Master Red.
It just... Oh, God. It just reminds me of, like, people who are always like, why didn't this Japanese-only game come to the United States? And then it does, and then everyone's just like, oh, because it's a pile of fucking garbage.
Yeah, natural doctrine. Anyway, Halo 5, the teaser site, remember last week we were discussing this? They are asking us to hunt the truth. Well, there is a journalist and war photographer that apparently is writing all about Master Chief. His very first entry was talking about how sources claim they know the real Master Chief. The boy, the soldier, the hero, the traitor. But who's telling the truth? Well, he is going to Russia, so probably the traitor. Moving on, according to Bonnie Ross, there are still hundreds upon hundreds of stories to tell in the Master Chief collection. Here's what she said. So we use our fiction and our novels to kind of broaden the universe so that we have more locations to go in the future with whatever we want to do. Whether it's games, comics, live action, wherever we want to go. I think that there is a potential in the Halo franchise. It's just...
Yeah, bland generic Space Marines. You can do anything!
I defy you to...
As long as you're shooting people that don't look like you.
Yeah, that's all that counts.
The first game had one of the best stories I played in a game. The very first game, it was magic. Everything after that kind of ruined it for me. Just saying. Just saying.
There's hundreds more stories just like those stories you didn't like.
You know...
Aren't you excited?
Mm-hmm. You know what had the second best story in the series?
ODST.
Segue.
Space.
ODST. Did you play ODST?
Yes.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Do you like that jazz music?
What the fuck does ODST stand for?
Oh, darling, shoot turtles.
Orbital Drop Shock Trooper.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Damn, son.
Nerd.
Damn, son.
Mind like a steel trap.
Mm-hmm.
Trap music?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I like ODST, but it's, I don't know, it's just missing something. You know, it's not quite...
Oh, you're right.
Yorby.
When it is missing something, though, when it comes to the Xbox One through the Master Chief Collection as a mea culpa for the botched launch, it will be missing something. Firefight mode will not be available. But to be fair, this was never planned. According to Buddy Ross, we did not plan on putting ODST out. I mean, I love ODST, but we did not plan on putting it out. We were pretty deliberate on Master Chief's journey leading up to Halo 5 as the Master Chief Collection. Obviously, when we had a stumble with the Master Chief Collection, I think that we looked at what people...
You got a face plant into
fell
like a
down
spike
the fucking
pig?
Stairs from Rocky, and it's a stumble.
This tore their ACL, nothing big. ODST was on the top of that list.
All of their ACLs at the same time.
Yeah, Kevin Nash. Anyway, moving
that was a quad.
Yeah, I know. Well, there were 4 games in the Master Chief Collection. Anyway, Xbox One's April system update is going to have voice messages. That's where you can leave little voice recordings for your friends on there. It's a very popular feature. But if you want improved party chat or deeper integration...
Why aren't you playing these games with this faggot?
Whoa, okay.
That's every message I think I've ever gotten on 360.
I've gotten it. Well, yeah, I know, but, you know.
Such a great community, though.
Be a part of.
Yeah, when Meat Curtains 420 sends you hate speech.
I think, guys, we'll talk off mic about this. I'll teach you how to be nice to the 14-year-olds on Xbox Live.
Why would I do that? I have Steam.
Here's the good news. Microsoft is not going to interfere with the with the Minecraft convention. According to Microsoft, Mojang is running Minecon 2015 in the same manner as past events. We were playing a supporting role. We want to listen, learn, and be inspired by the community that has made Minecraft great.
That's a good call.
Oh, did you serious?
Don't make Minecraft people angry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really hopeful that Microsoft can continue their hands-off approach. I mean, they're continuing more texture packs, such as the pattern texture packs, that makes it brighter, not only on Xbox One, not only on PC, not only on 360, but PS3 and PS4 as well. So they're making money off of PlayStation.
They're basically printing money with that property right now, so not interfering is the right way to go.
Speaking of making some money, Mass Effect, the Mashup Pack, is coming to the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, where you can play as Commander Shepard in Minecraft.
Yay.
My name is Commander Shepard, and I love this meme.
Is it Fem Shep or
This is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it the female shepherd that the community recognizes as the correct shepherd, or the one that they actually use in all of the advertisements?
I don't think. Look, I am all for gender diversity in video games. However, I don't think there can be a right shepherd.
FemShep is it because they designed the game with FemShep. Like FemShep isn't a gender swap of shepherd. Dude Shep is a gender swap of.
I believe it,
and yet used in all of the marketing.
Yeah, and we say FemShep even though it should be Dude Shep, Bro Shep.
I don't know. I don't care. For me, that's why
I'm a heathen. I've only ever played as the guy.
But here's the thing: that's the last name of the character. That was the whole point, to avoid to make it gender neutral to begin with. So when people say femship, I'm like, what the hell is your problem?
But if it's gender neutral, then why is there a guy on all the covers?
Because EA. There you go.
Space dude.
Yep.
Halos.
Why is he walking towards the cover with the gun?
Look at this cultural touchstone.
We're less than halfway through the stories, gentlemen. Shall we continue?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Alan Wake has reached 4.5 million copies.
Hooray. Make a sequel.
They said that they would plan on making a less ambitious sequel. However, they're already busy with Quantum Break, as well as, if you pre-order Quantum Break, you might get a free copy of Alan Wake, according to that weird survey that Microsoft was taking. Hey, guess what? Playtonic, the team that's working on that new Banjo-Kazooie type game, well, the director of this new project, and well as the 20-year veteran of Rare, Gavin Price, had a lot to say about working with Rare. I still chat to them. I know that what they're working on when I left last year. It sounds really good. You never know. There are some good old mates of ours down the road. They might want to do a little multi-studio collaboration. So maybe back into the fold to help create something. Here's what he said, though, about why all these people left Rare. A lot of people were blaming the idea that Microsoft was very restrictive as an owner. Complete opposite, according to him. For me, it was more about Rare founders Tim and Chris Stamper leaving. There was no sense of progression about what the company was going to do from that point on. Did people want to hear that Microsoft came in and destroyed everything? It wasn't like that. They gave us freedom, almost more freedom than Nintendo gave us. It's true. You could only use a controller on Nintendo, but with the Xbox, you are the controller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I played through Kinect Adventures entirely with my penis, just dong out, moving the boat back and forth.
I was on Reddit and pointed out that Kinect Adventures, the very first entry, outsold the outsold the lifetime sales of Alan Wake by double. Just people got fucking angry at me.
I really wonder, how many Kinect games... Now, this is not something you could broadcast on YouTube very easily, I don't think. How many Kinect games do you think you could complete entirely with your genitals?
Moving on. Well, if you want...
That's an important question.
I have some good news for would-be surgeons.
I could probably do all of them.
I'm going to try.
So, there is a brand new controller that's designed specifically to train surgeons to perform surgery. This is a brand new Wii U controller that involves 2 remotes and 2 nunchucks. This device was created for the puzzle game Underground by Grendel Games. However, they've discovered that it actually is really good at helping people focus.
How do you hold 2 remotes and 2 nunchucks?
It basically is it's almost like a box.
Like,
yeah, it's like a box that connects there, and so like it's all about moving. Maybe the analog stick with your fingers while you're still moving 2 Wiimotes, like for surgery, because the way that they use their fingers is often like their pinky and ring finger is very important. So that's more about stability rather than like playing. It's tracking to see how maybe.
But
shaky
where do
their
they
hands
plug
are.
the gamepad in when they're operating?
Well, it doesn't matter because either way, it's gonna lose its charge after 4 minutes.
Yeah, so they have to have it plugged in.
Yeah.
It's like hanging over the body.
They got we actually, sir, your surgery was a success. However, we left a gamepad in you. PlayStation View.
Don't worry, it's dead.
PlayStation View has officially added AMC. This is fantastic news for the Sony service that only costs $50 a month in select cities.
Oh my god, you get cable while you cable, so you can watch TV while you watch TV.
Guess what? Thank you, Exhibit. However, this is just in time for the Walking Dead finale, so there we go. We actually have some more information about that God of War 3 remaster. According to Sony Santa Monica's Aaron Kaufman, there are no plans for others in the franchise to bring over. Remasters often help us open the door to new players who perhaps did not play God of War 3 5 years ago, but who can bring it on to the PlayStation 4. People often forget the more players we can bring into a franchise, the better for everyone. At Santa Monica Studios, we'd like as many PlayStation fans to experience our games as possible, from generation to generation. There was a typo. It said form instead of from.
And conveniently, they don't have to put in all the work of actually making a new game.
I can't... if there's a God of War 4, would you be excited to play it? If you don't have to pay for a PS4, would you be excited to play that?
Sure.
Yeah? You like Kratos?
Yeah.
Sparta! That's him.
I mean, at the end of the day,
300,
he's,
I think.
as far as iconic characters go, he's no Yorby, but I like the games enough. I think I would probably...
God of War 3 launches on July 14th. Moving on. Remember last week we were talking about Drive Club having some issues? Well, now we've officially learned that over half the team could potentially lose their jobs.
That team's got some issues.
There has been some rumors that somehow this would be keeping some of the members of staff in for a job, but not as officially as employees. So somewhat freelancers, which never bodes quite well. Though that's becoming more and more common in game development. So bad news all around. It's not just the guy that headed up the title. It's going to be the guy making the tires. Anyway, MMO H1Z1, the Sony-produced early access zombie MMO.
Oh, yeah, it's a zombie MMO. Not a disaster. Not a tire fire.
Nope. According to the president
isn't
of Daybreak Studios...
kind of be good?
No, that's supposed to be okay. But the president of the company, Daybreak Studios, John Smedley, has officially announced via Twitter, we have sold over 1M copies H1Z1 on Steam! Exclamation point. Hey, I'm gonna read. Hey, he still had all these.
Is that a Roman numeral?
He just wrote M. He didn't. He had all this space on Twitter, and he just decided to write 1M. So we don't know what that really stands for. People are speculating 1 million.
It means on me.
Maybe it means micron.
Yeah, 1 micro. So it just means that they sold 10 copies. Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on. PlanetSide 2, the other MMO that, of course, is from the exact same studio, Daybreak, will be having a closed beta for the PlayStation 4 in Europe starting on, or actually it already happened, March 25th. So, a lot of people want to get in that closed beta. Very passionate fans, but I have the beta key and you don't, and you'll never get in because I had a beta key. Remember that.
Yeah, and never forget how good Colin is at PlanetSide 2.
Oh my god.
Never forget.
It's so naive of these so-called PlanetSide 2 fans when I am ultimate PlanetSide 2 fan.
Mm-hmm. Number one.
I proved it over and over again through my numerous videos, all one of them, of me playing PlanetSide 2. My confusion was in jest, gentlemen. I know everything about PlanetSide 2, including all of the Spartans and drop the grenade when you die, whatever that perk is. Mm-hmm. Moving on.
You know what side is the planet side, am I right?
Absolutely. I'm on planet's side.
And I do too.
Yeah, of course. We are the biggest
Going
fans.
back to moving on.
How many planet sides are there? They're just 2, right? Are there 5?
Going back to moving on.
Okay, just making sure. I personally like PlanetSide 2 just because I'm a big fan of anime and of Sailor Moon, and I just find that there's so many similarities.
Moving on.
I'm not too good at driving the Warthog.
I'm still thinking about what Kinect games I can play with my genitals.
Yeah.
Holy shitting fuck, moving on.
Hey, there's actually going to be supposedly, there might be a patch to improve load times in Bloodborne. It needs it. Literally 45 seconds worth of load times every single time you die. Think about that, gentlemen. The development team is currently exploring another patch for Bloodborne, seeking ways to improve load time duration in addition to other performance, optimization, and miscellaneous bugs fix. We will provide more information as soon as possible. That was a statement from Sony, to From Software, to IGN.
Hey.
Okay.
All right.
But here's some bad news. Sony actually forgot to register the trademark of Bloodborne again. Yes, that's right. The day before the game came out, they accidentally abandoned the trademark of Bloodborne. Maybe we'll get that PC release, gentlemen.
Now I can snatch it up. It'll be Steve Cuff's Bloodborne. This happened before with something a few weeks ago, didn't it?
Last Guardian.
Yeah. So now, I'm going to own all their properties.
But here's the good news.
You're all John Carpenter on this shit.
If you do have a PC, you can always get Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. This is, of course, like the Game of the Year version of Dark Souls 2 with some new enemy placements and improved graphics. But here's something really fascinating. If you do not own Dark Souls 2, the original version, you can purchase the game for $39.99 for a DirectX 9 version or $49.99 for a DirectX 11 version. However, if you already own Dark Souls 2, you can upgrade to a DirectX 9 version.
You mean 11?
11 version for $29.99. It's very, very confusing. It's all if you already have all the DLC.
This all sounds like horse shit. Why can't I just buy a version of the game and it works with whatever
This all
I have?
sounds like give me more money.
Well, it's there's going to be a lot of graphical enhancements to the DirectX 11 version that won't be carried over to the DirectX 9 version. They've been given separate Steam pages to make sure that people know what they're getting into.
That should be a toggle, not a Steam page.
Well, if you have a lower end PC, you pay less. Final Fantasy 15 is going to feature an all-male cast. You might be saying, why? Well, according to Hajime Tabata, speaking honestly, an all-male party feels more approachable for players. Even the presence of one female in the group will change their behavior, so they'll act differently.
So they're all men because that's more approachable?
So?
That has nothing to do with each other. That's like saying the cast is all men because I like bologna sandwiches. Fuck you.
So, to give them more natural feeling, to make them feel sincere and honest, having them all the same gender made sense in that way. The world might be ready to see the curtain lifted on what boys do when girls aren't around. When they come out of the tent all prim and proper. If you want more information of what boys do when girls are not around, check out the awesome 1970s comedy Porky's, which is currently available on VHS for 30 years. Seriously.
What the fuck?
Japan.
I don't even.
I
wish I could like make my facial expression right now audio, so you could use. What the fuck?
Moving on, Broken Age is officially coming to the PlayStation 4 and Vita on the exact same day that Act 2 is launching on the PC, Mac, and Linux. That date is April 28th. Everybody, I encourage you to play that game. It's fantastic. If you already purchased Act 1, fear not. That game is coming.
Yeah, I love playing point-and-click adventures with joysticks. You know.
That game comes for free.
I do.
Actually, Broken Age would totally be acceptable on a controller. Wait till you play it. It's very different from your traditional point-and-click adventure.
Fair enough. I was just being a dick.
Of
Love
course.
you, Colin.
Ollie, mention Yorby one more time, motherfucker. Ollie 2
Yorby 2
has been played by over 1 million people. Roll7 is thanking PlayStation Plus for the huge boost for a small studio like ours. Very good for them. Ollie 2, of course, is actually a pretty damn good game. I highly recommend it for PlayStation owners, especially when it was free. Just fun. Fun to skate around. Do you own part 1, Brendan?
Yeah.
Did you play it yet?
Steam.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It's hard.
Okay. Robert Bowling, the former creative strategist of Infinity Ward, has officially joined Humble Bundle as their brand new VP and creative director. According to him, I'm excited to join them, having spent the last decade on the developmental side and experiencing firsthand the trials and tribulations of getting games out the door and getting them discovered by new audiences. That's pretty cool.
Ooh, he can help them develop a 4th tier where you have to pay even more money for games.
That'd be cool, because all of it goes to charity.
No. most of it goes to charity.
Every dollar.
All of it only goes to charity when EA feels bad that no one likes Origin.
Every single cent is going to charity.
That was a great bundle, though.
That was a fantastic bundle.
It was probably the best one besides the one that you got the Batman games.
And you got the Saboteur in there, too. That was awesome. Anyway, moving on. Lost Within, Till Morning's Light, and Tofu Furry are 3 games that are coming to iOS. That might not sound like a very important piece of news. However, these were previously published by Amazon exclusively for their Fire Phone service. So they will now be coming over to iOS. It looks like Amazon is
really banging down the door for tofu furries.
Why not just get some free money? Fury, not furry.
Oh, I thought you literally meant like tofu, but like bunny suits and they fuck each other.
I like to have sex dressed as tofu from Resident Evil 2.
I'd like to have that 45 seconds of my life back.
Okay. Hey, Supercell, the creators of Clash of Clans, have officially pulled in $1.7 billion for 2014. This is amazing because in 2013, they made $570 million. Clash of Clans ain't bad. I'm going to put it out there. Ain't bad. Moving on.
Crickets.
Yeah, guys, you didn't want to talk about it.
The crowd goes mild.
Bandai Namco is officially removing over 7 titles from the iOS store, including Katamari Alamore, Rally X Rumble, Namco Sound Player, Nobi Nobi Boy, Ridge Racer Accelerated HD, Pack Chomp. Never heard of that, but I really want to play it. I love the word chomp, and I like pack. Time Crisis Second Strike HD, and Pack and Jump. No word yet on why these games are being...
bring that Pac-Man game that was like a GameCube, a Game Boy Advance, like
I know
that thing. Bring that to Wii U. Like, tomorrow.
Pac-Man versus.
What about Pac-Man 2: The New Adventures?
Or is it versus Pac-Man? It's Japan. Who knows?
Do that shit.
MotoGP 15 and F1 2015 are both launching on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC this June, and you're going to see a lot of enhanced graphics. F1 is actually rather fun. I highly recommend it. Moving on. Blazing Fast. I just read the headline from some other website. Strike Vector is officially coming to the Xbox One, PlayStation 4. This, of course, is the independently developed, I guess you'd call it like an arena shooter. It basically allows you to pick between a jet that goes fast or a hover mode, and you fight each other. It's very cool looking. It's already out on PC if you're interested. It came out last year. I don't know. You probably already owned it, Brendan.
Probably.
That's seamless.
Blizzard is officially suing the developers of a game called Dota Legend. Of course, that name is only available in Taiwan and China, whereas they originally called it Soul Class. So by renaming their game, they are now getting sued by the biggest publisher in all of video games, Activision Blizzard. Oops.
Yeah, it was dumb. I don't know why you would do that.
Like, they wouldn't notice? They can use Google and just type in Dota, Atari is actually considering rebooting a bunch of their older titles. According to Todd Schallbetter, Atari COO, young and innovative studios might be taking a refreshing look at each game from our extensive portfolio. These games include Warlords, Adventure, Tempest, Missile Command. This is after, of course, Asteroids was rebooted. And they are still harassing the creator of TXK. Go figure.
This is interesting, too, because Atari first rebooted their games in, like, the late 90s.
On the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, it's like they've been doing everything in, like, 20-year cycles or something.
Yeah, it's true. Have you played Atari today?
No.
Okay, good. Well, also, we have some news that if you have the Atari Fit app, if you work out, you can earn coins. If you earn coins, you'll be able to play classic Atari games such as Pong, Super Breakout, and Centipede. This will work with, of course, the Jawbone, Fitbit, and Android Wheat. Would you guys ever actually play, would you do, like, the whole workout thing? Do you actually have, like, a Fitbit or anything?
No, working out is gross.
I agree.
But we were talking about this earlier today, and if we could earn, like Steam dollars or something, like money to buy, like, video games that aren't, like, millipede on my fucking Fitbit or whatever.
Fitbit.
My Fitbit, that's a...
I would look like Brock Lesnar if I could get
Steam
games
I'd be
for
fucking
free.
shredded as hell if I could get,
but
like,
for
Steam
fucking
money.
Atari games, it's like, no, it's okay. I'll just download it for free on my computer.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, guys. What do you say we get to these last few stories? Toe Jam and Earls officially reached its $400,000 Kickstarter goal, which is very good news.
For them.
Spielberg is officially going to direct the brand new Ready Player One film based off of the book that Brandon likes quite a bit.
Yes, great book. Buy it, read it. the movie better not suck or I'm going to be super angry.
It's actually just the script from AI with a different title.
I will fucking kill you.
This is going to be Spielberg's very first feature film with Warner Brothers in over 14 years. So that's pretty exciting.
And it damn well better be good or there's going to be hell to pay.
The Evil Within is going to have some more DLC that will be coming out on April 21st.
Literally no one cares.
Star Citizen has reached $76 million.
Literally everyone cares.
As well as had a huge list of patch notes, which I don't have time to read. I think we could do a whole show on these patch notes. Seriously.
Google it.
Google it. Google it, Moogle it.
Use Lycos, you idiots.
BioWare is officially announced that the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 will be getting the brand new DLC. However, they are not at liberty to talk about the PlayStation 4 version. According to the executive producer, Mark Duran, he said, "We cannot discuss when Jaws of Hakan will be coming to other platforms." Someone actually asked him a question. Is this part of the contract must be they can't discuss how long it's an exclusive? According to Mark Dunn, you are correct. We are looking into options. He said, please be patient. Oh, yeah. But what we do know is that Dragon Age Inquisition will have brand new environments in their latest DLC. So look forward to that. If you've already spent 100 plus hours. Jesus.
Get ready for 100 more.
You probably get about 30.
Yeah.
That's how their DLCs usually work. Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, the downloadable title that's coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PS4, is going to have some brand new characters, including Virgil, Trish, and Lady. Yes, Lady. You can finally play as Lady. Who's Lady?
I don't know.
If you've been suffering the ups and downs of Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate on the 3DS, you can experience
PR shill. Are you reading this?
Wait till you have the ultimate thrill when you ride the brand new Goliath coaster from Magic Mountain, repurposed as Gora Megala Monster. Yeah, that'll be starting on March 28th and will carry through to August 10th.
No one is going to know what that is. They're just going to be like, why the fuck is Goliath's name changed?
There's going to be so many fucking inside kids wearing fedoras and Hawaiian shirts.
Listen, that is a great game. That's a great game. I know people that barely play games and they love Monster Hunter. Dead serious. Moving on. PewDiePie and Anil Sarkeesian have officially joined Time's list of the 30 most influential people on the internet.
That probably makes sense.
I wonder what. So, you know.
Well, PewDiePie made, Skate 3 a thing, so that's.
Oh, he's hugely influential. And I honestly respect PewDiePie. I know it sounds ridiculous, but he's never abused his power, unlike other weird British people, sociopaths.
Oi! You back off, all right?
Okay.
Let me adjust this slider so I can bring your shit opinion into my field of view.
I like it whenever. And I'm not even going to name what I'm talking about.
There's only 4 pages. 4 pages of video.
Let me tell you, Mr. Tanner, you're irrelevant.
Let me tell you something about what he was talking about.
Media dinosaur.
He made 2 million subscribers or whatever recently, and he said, a lot of people like to make fun of my subscribers, and they like to generalize about them. Well, I suppose if they were generalizing about black people, it wouldn't go as well. So, yes, if you don't like his awful show, you are a racist. He made that comparison.
I'm good with it. Moving on.
Yeah, this is coming from a person that cannot help but make multiple transphobic, homophobic, and sexist statements. Oh, I'm sorry, not homophobic, because dudes, they're cool. Moving on. 2 chicks at once, hubba. Moving on. If my dick can tolerate it, I can tolerate it. Idiot.
What the fuck?
Dynamic beard growth has been confirmed for The Witcher 3. That's right. As time goes on, you're going to grow more facial hair, and your hair's going to get a little bit longer. This according to the boss of CD Projekt Red's communications.
Do you have to shave in that game?
That's a news story. That is a news story.
One of the DLC packs will be the beard and hairstyle add-on.
God damn it. Oh,
shit like this makes me want to shave.
Video games.
Seriously.
Well, if you're waiting for The Witcher and you want to kill a couple of hours, you can always download the 2-hour trial on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 of The Crew. The Crew, obviously, was one of the worst games I ever played in... I
heard it's gotten better since they patched it.
You know what? I will tell you this much. If you've ever been curious to see a world devoid of citizens, where cars control like shopping carts, this is for you. And where America takes like 2 hours to drive through. Anyway... Rainbow Six Siege gameplay has officially been leaked.
Amazing. Can't wait. I better get into the closed alpha or I'm going to be super mad.
Well, apparently this is from the closed alpha, and the level is going to be set on a plane. So, very exciting. We already know that there's that house setting. That's the only one that I know of from the E3 last year.
Yeah.
Looks amazing. But if you can't wait for that, you can always play RBI Baseball 15, which will be coming out tomorrow, March 31st.
Can't wait to watch the first hour.
Oh, man. I'm going to queue up that download, maybe play some Yorby while I wait.
Oh, excellent. How about why don't you go get paid $75 so that you can afford to buy that game?
Oh, my
and
God.
all you have to do is put your face in Homefront the Revolution.
Well, it's like I always say, like, you can't spell Yorby without RBI Baseball.
I'm totally willing to put my face on a shitty game that no one's going to play.
You'll need to be in Nottingham, UK, and you'll need to give 30 minutes of your time, but you'll get 50 British pounds. Sterling, whatever the terminology is.
It's like $800 US.
If you can't afford that, maybe you can rob a bank or play Payday 2. Waka waka. As Starbreeze has officially met an agreement with 505 Games, ensuring that they will continue for the next 2 years to develop on Payday 2.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
According to Starbreeze, we said that we'll never stop making Payday, and the board is extremely happy to see where the franchise is today. The strategic partnership with 505 Games continues to strengthen us, and the Payday investment alone doubles down on our previous spend.
Yeah, hey, people making free-to-play games or games with microtransactions. Do stuff like Payday. Good base game, constant stream of DLC that you don't really need, but it's fun and nice to have.
Well, if you're looking for a great game to play, remember the War Z. Well, it doesn't matter. That's gone.
The War Z?
Because now it's called Survivor Stories after they got taken off of Steam. Well, they have a brand new partner, George Cameron Romero, the son of George A. Romero. According to the developers, he's going to join production. He's going to join production team as a creative force to help us make the ultimate zombie experience. Cameron, being a avid hardcore gamer, will be a partner for us.
Cameron, who likes games and has a cool dad and has never had to pay for anything in his life and just sits in his basement all day.
I doubt Romero's that rich. I mean, come on. He lost all the rights to Night of the Living Dead before he even finished it. Rust is apparently experimenting with racial empathy by not allowing you to choose skin color. According to Gary Newman, the lead designer, there's a lot of skin colors in the world. It's really easy to appear racially insensitive when doing this. This is compounded by the fact that everyone is really used to seeing this guy as a white guy. So when you see him as a black guy, it feels like he's just blacked up. So we're spending a lot of time trying to lessen that effect. According to him, I would love nothing more than if playing as a black guy in the game made a white guy appreciate what it was like to be a persecuted minority. There's still work to be done, so consider this just a boilerplate of an idea for now. It's quite pleasing to see different races working together in a game. It makes you realize how arbitrary race is.
So now I have to wonder if the naked guy that bashed my skull in with a stone did it because he wanted my stone or because I was black?
Yes, that's correct.
There's a lot of...
I would love to see... I don't think they'll ever release it, but because of Russ' weird and kind of shitty community, I would love to see the metrics on that.
Oh, yeah. In fact, the community is very angry. They want to choose their own race.
So they could be white?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but then it's a hate crime.
But you never think about it. It's just like, hey, dipshit, how many games did they just drop you in and you're just a white guy the entire game and you don't have any say?
All I can say is that
literally every game.
When I want diversity, I play Final Fantasy 15.
My favorite game in the last 10 years, you play as a teenage girl. Obviously, I don't fucking care.
Dude, for the love of God, we all know about Sabrina the Teenage Witch on Game Boy Advance. Shut up. Every week, I have to cut this out where you go on and on about how you...
Hey, I listened to you bitch about Yorby for how long?
You know
I
what?
want my time to talk about Sabrina.
I helped you complete the gym stage, sir. All right? You caught all the basketballs. You hung out with Skylar or whatever.
Real talk, though, you know way too much about that game.
You're both too bogged down in humanity. You know who I identify with? Robots who like to crack wise.
Oh, God.
Valve
I thought he was making a serious...
is going to give away the Vive VR headset to specific developers. The spokesman for Valve, Doug Lombardi, he said, more info and sign-up forms will be available to all interested developers, big or small, via a new site coming soon. Half-Life 2 Remastered is a brand new update. I don't know if you guys have seen that. City 17, do you remember that?
Yes.
That is officially being integrated into Half-Life 2 via a download on Steam. It's going to be a 7 gigabyte update. It's going to have improved lighting, special effects, increased world detail, countless bug fixes, and an original community commentary mode. I can't wait. I love City 17. It's just gorgeous. So good on them. And good on Valve. Goddamn. What other team would do that? Be like, hey, you made this without our consent? Here you go. We'll just allow that. Resident Evil 5 is officially getting Steamworks treatment instead of Games for Windows Live. Unfortunately, you cannot carry over your DLC. Sorry, guys. And speaking of mods, the Elder Scrolls Skyrim and Morrowind crossover is still being developed. It's now at 0.095. So very close to being wrapped up. And Radio Shack has an auction coming up to sell users' personal information, email, phone number, addresses, shopping habits.
Favorite pizza toppings.
Of 117 million former customers. Thankfully, this information is from the 80s, and they're all dead under a pile of cassette tapes.
Yeah.
So, but I guess
have fun sending junk mail to my mom's old house, you assholes.
And all right, crappy RC cars.
Let's wrap up the Pressure Points Gen Con, the gaming and cosplay and everything kind of tabletop. Awesome
convention.
Yeah, which used to take place here in Milwaukee, but now it's in Indiana. However, basically the president and founder, Aaron Swartout, is that really his name? He was the event's owner. He just made it up. He didn't want to be in Indiana if the religious freedoms passed, because that could basically exclude same-sex couples from working at certain establishments. It's a very long issue. However, what he had to say is legislation that could allow for the refusal of service or discrimination against our attendees will have a direct negative impact on the state's economy and will factor into our decision-making on hosting the convention in the state of Indiana in future years. Gen Con does bring in a lot of money. And basically all he said is Gen Con proudly welcomes a diverse attendee base made up of different ethnicities, cultures, beliefs, sexual orientations, gender identities, abilities, socioeconomic backgrounds. We are happy to provide an environment that welcomes all the wide range diversity of our attendees has become a key element to the success of our growth in this convention.
Yeah, there's $1 billion software company that's leaving as well, and I'm actually happy about the Gen Con thing because I have a lot of friends that go to Gen Con, and maybe they'll bring it back to Milwaukee, and then I can hang out with my friends.
Okay,
it's almost like they should have just stayed here in the first place.
Guys, you just don't get it.
Weird.
When men kiss... Come on!
Colin just can't even right now.
Yeah, Colin can't even. Colin penis no like when boy kiss.
No. And did you guys see that? Did you guys see that meme? It's the guy from Duck Dynasty, and it just says, "Don't think about gay sex. Don't think about gay sex. Don't think about gay sex." I love that. All right, that's gonna do it for the Pressure Points. As always, it ends in sodomy. Well, if you played Yorby, you got fucked.
Hey-o!
Okay. Now, right before we wrap up the show, I'm introducing a brand new 45-minute segment. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, my God. I'm so tired.
Well, you guys want to interrupt and talk about Yorby. How do you feel now? How do you feel now?
You know what, Colin? You're being irrational right now.
Hey, yes! that's already my headline. On the video, it's Yorby sorry if you play this.
Oh, that's not as funny.
Okay, sorry.
Because it would be you'll be sorry.
So... Today, March 30th, the PC has Bloodsports TV. That's officially launching. Tomorrow on the PlayStation 4 and Vita.
Bloodsports TV?
Yes, sir.
Like Kumatai?
What is it?
It's on PC.
But what? Is it a game?
It's about sports that involve blood. It will be on TV if you play PC on TV.
It's arguably the best Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, but that's neither here nor there.
I agree.
What are we talking about?
On the PlayStation 4 and Vita, the Metroid-influenced Axiom Verge will be released. Okay. Also on PC, Gratuitous Space Battles 2 will be coming to Steam.
Oh.
As well as on the PlayStation 4, Vita, and PS3, the Best Damn Baseball Game, MLB 15, the show, will be released on PlayStation 4, and it will allow for people to take their previous saves of their teams, and minor league teams, and import it into the new game.
Well, golly gee.
It's the very first time for the series. As well as on Xbox 360 and Xbox One, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Ascendance, the brand new DLC pack, will be available on Tuesday, and actually Wednesday. I'm sorry, that's when. That's when Microsoft does their whole download things because they want to be different. They want to set a different standard. And that's gonna do it for all the downloads of the week. God, I feel like there's something I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Not cooking in the studio.
I just feel like there's something I do when the show is done now, but I can't remember what it is.
I am going to beat you into a coma with this microphone.
It's time to close out the show. Brendan, where can people reach you on the internet?
You can reach me on Steam. It's Brandon Snow.
You mean the Steam that's in this room right now?
Yeah.
It's so damn hot.
Yeah, Brandon
From
Snow.
my swamp ass.
The O in Snow is a 0. And on Twitter, currently it's at Brandon Jonathan. Hopefully soon it'll be at Yorby is Life.
Okay, screw you. Steve, where can people reach you on the internet?
You can reach me on Twitter at Steve Cuff. You can check out the shit that me and my peoples write at optimismvaccine.com. You can go to YouTube. You can look up Optimism Vaccine. I got shit on there. You can listen to the OpVacCast. It's on iTunes and some other shit. Just Google it, man. In addition, you can watch my new streaming channel that I'm developing right now where I play Connect Adventures with my genitals and stream Yorby twice a night.
All right, don't forget, of course, that you have to go to Express Milwaukee, and you can check out the most recent Optimism Vaccine article about South by Southwest.
That was our podcast, live from South by Southwest.
I didn't read
is
it,
hilarious.
so I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, yeah, he's a fucking piece of shit. Okay. We called our last OpVacCast, we made a joke in the beginning because a lot of podcasts were doing it live from South by Southwest, so we pretended like we were there, but it was very, very obvious that we weren't actually in Austin, Texas, if you listen to it. Although I don't think anyone at Shepherd actually listened to it, so they sort of marketed it like we actually were live from South by Southwest. It's awesome. ExpressMilwaukee.com.
That's almost like when they published my review of Resident Evil 2, Revelations, Episode 1. It's like, you got everything turned around, baby.
Too many colons. But yeah, I mean...
Resident Evil 2...
It's great to be back from Austin.
Episode 1.
And we're not... It's great to be back from Austin, and it's nice that we're able to live broadcast from Nome, Alaska. It's a really remote spot. Great people here.
Like the tan. Mm-hmm. All right, guys, you can reach me on Twitter by just looking me up, at Dr. Krychop. That's at Dr. Krychop. Go to youtube.com, subscribe, and check out the brand new First Hour Weekly. I take all the episodes of the First Hour of the Week and I compile them into a boring little package. Actually, it's exciting. Mildly. I don't know. You tell me. You leave a comment. If you like the show, remember to subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, TuneIn Radio. Check it out on expressmilwaukee.com. Go to videogamesardumb.com. And come on, give us 5 stars. Wherever you are, give us 5 stars. Give us a written review and tell us how wonderful and handsome we are and how we just need to buck up and play more Yorby. No, here's the good news, though. On expressmilwaukee.com, or expressmilwaukee.com this week, you can find my written review of Yorby. Episode 1, Life's a Bolt. So check that out on Tuesday. But Brandon, thank you so much for being on the show this week.
Thank you for having me.
Steve, thanks for being on the show this week.
Pleasure as always.
All right, guys. Have a great time. Get out there, live your lives, play yourself some Yorby. But if you do, suicide is painless. But the PressureCast is forever.
And so is Yorby.
What the
PressureCast, weekly video game news podcast, is solely owned and operated by Colin Tanner. Guests of the PressureCast are not employees or freelancers of Colin Tanner, the PressureCast, or VideoGamesAreDumb.com, and are not paid. Music featured on the PressureCast is property of their respective owners, and no infringement is intended. For more information, email pressurecast@gmail.com.